Biden urging parents to get their kids the shots after the FDA and CDC approved Pfizer's COVID vaccine for those 12 to 15. It's another day of warring between Israelis and Palestinians. Fox's Simon Owen has an update live.
Dave, President Biden has appealed for calm, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will keep striking Palestinian military targets. Militant group Hamas describes the confrontation as open-ended. Israeli airstrikes are continuing for a fourth day, as are Palestinian rocket barrages in the other direction. The violence has reached further into Israel than at any time since 2000. Children have been reported killed on both sides. Dave?
And since Monday, Simon, Palestinians report more than 80 people have been killed. 7 Israelis are dead. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News, traffic.
It's Thursday morning. Traffic is getting busy in Lehigh Acres on Jaguar eastbound towards Columbus from Eisenhower. We're still fully up to speed on Milwaukee Boulevard, especially making that commute towards East Lee County High. Slowdowns on Beckley Drive towards Bell Boulevard. Also, a tap on the brakes on 23rd west of Sunshine towards Gunnery. Now, it is not backed up like it will be later on. Still a good option. However, if you're heading out to 82, fully up to speed between Sunshine and Gunnery is only a 3 to 4 minute commute. A slowdown on 26 west of Gunnery. Average speed is at 10 miles per hour. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. We are still seeing that warm and muggy start with temps in the 70s. This afternoon, though, with a lot of cloud cover, we're going to be limited to the upper 80s to near 90. That's also going to allow for a few spotty showers and thunderstorms to develop, but probably not as widespread as the past few days. Drier air mixes in behind a cold front Friday into Saturday, and the weekend looks beautiful across the entire region. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hey, this is Papa reporting that a lady recently complained that she did not like my commercial about the guy spitting chewing tobacco. She said that sound made her sick. I asked her what she thought about my commercial of Bart the donkey, and she went... Either way, a special thanks to over 4,000 wonderful people who did respond to Papa's wacky commercials and making this past year our biggest, most profitable year in over 30 years. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Kerry, and Cody, we invite you to call Papa for our free tile roof inspection. If we find needed repairs, we'll do our best to make it affordable. Let us show you how we can clean and seal your tile roof, pavers, and pool decks the eco-friendly way, and it's cleaner, safer, and lasts longer. We promise to keep the donkey off your roof. Call me, Papa, for our free tile roof inspection. 945-2700. That's 945-2700. Remember, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7.
License number CCC 1326213.
It's a hot afternoon, and you're listening to the news. And now, you're hot under the collar, too. I'm Matt from Island Air. When you choose an AC contractor, you're entrusting that company with the air that you and your family breathe. A healthy unit means a healthier household. Island Air has a long history in Southwest Florida and hundreds of customer reviews that you can see on our website at islandairfl.com, where you will see the Island Air difference. Want to try us out? Our $99 System Saver one-time maintenance is guaranteed. If your AC breaks within 6 months of the maintenance, we will credit the payment towards any repair. Island Air also offers free second opinions. Let us review your quote for any service, replacement, or repair for your peace of mind.
IslandAirFL.com. That's IslandAirefL.com. IslandAirefL.com or call 239-645-4668. That's 239-645-4668. License number CAC 057544.
Got water?
In your house?
What do I do now?
Call 239-936-1033.
Call Fire Service, your disaster response friends.
Breaking news. The inventory overload savings event has been extended through Sunday only. Unlike other dealers who are running out of inventory, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral has packed our lots with vehicles. Shop the area's best selection of new Nissan Rogues, Altimas, Titan trucks, Pathfinders, all trims and colors. We're not charging full sticker either. Get our best offers during the Inventory Overload Savings Event through Sunday. Plus, this final week, we'll buy your old car for $500 more than any other written offer. The Inventory Overload Savings Event ends Sunday. Don't miss it. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car mega store. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much. See dealer for details.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need an expert to help navigate that home loan process, Rocket can.
Shallow Sport and Yamaha Motors, the industry leaders, are both on display at Naples Marina. Come experience Shallow Sport, powered by Yamaha, only at Naples Marina, a winning combination. Naples Marina, Shallow Sport, and Yamaha Power.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 232 is the talk and text line. We stream live. DrewSteele.com is the website. Steele has 3 E's. I hope that you are there watching. If you're on Facebook at Drew Steele, look, you go there. That's it's there. It's there so you can watch if that is your location of choice. Would that be du jour? It's like when you go to a restaurant, du jour, and they say it's the soup of the day. Did you know that, Jake? Have you ever heard that joke? You have no idea what I don't. Okay. Like, you ever go to a restaurant and it says soup du jour? Du jour, D-U-J-O-U-R. Du jour.
Du jour.
Right. Well, you don't say it like that. But anyway, yeah, soup du jour, right? Okay? Have you ever noticed that? At all? Ever?
I've never seen that in my life, no.
Are you serious? So you've never looked at on a street billboard, a menu anywhere at all, ever? You've never seen the word soup du jour? I mean, it's okay if you haven't. All right. Well, soup du jour means like soup of the day. So the joke is you say it to the waiter, hey, what's the soup du jour? And they say it's the soup of the day. I got nothing. Just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to start today off a little differently. So believe me, coming into the studio this morning, it's been a different day. But that's that's behind the scenes. If you watch at DrewSteele.com, when we go to break, we'll give you a little inside baseball during the commercial break. How's that? So a little tease there for you. If you are some of the morning crew and you're like, what is he talking about? Well, if you go to Drew Steele right there, by the way, it's good for your phone, your smart device. It's just mobile friendly. If you watch, you'll hear me talk about the behind the scenes stuff. All right, it's really difficult to get into some of the topics today because of the frustration that many of you have that you're starting to see. Jake is one of them that has to do with gas, with fuel, with this Colonial Pipeline issue. Coming up at 6:35, a lot of people asked me to replay the interview that I did yesterday with Kara Frederick. She's a research fellow at the Heritage Foundation. She led the counterterrorism program at Facebook, and she spent years at the Department of Defense looking at all of these national security issues that come down with hacking and how we get hacked and what in the world is going on with Colonial, a lot of the different issues. So if you missed that interview, 6:35, we'll have a replay of that coming up. It's pretty interesting. She did a great job. And Colonial's going to get back online, so to speak. They're going to be up and running. They may even be up and running. I think they are up and running now, but it's going to take days before we start to see the effects here in the East and especially in the Southeast, where I personally, and I'm sure you have, and I wonder if you just tell the story, 239-479-5592. Maybe this is a good time this morning to communicate around Southwest Florida what you have been experiencing, just so people know about your gas. Have you seen gas lines? Have you noticed some area stations are out of fuel? I can tell you that on the way in this morning, I stopped to get some fuel, not to top it off, but because I didn't have any. And my station that I usually go to is completely out. And they anticipate it'll be some days before they get fuel back. And so I had to drive a little further to find a different station. And as you can imagine, at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, yeah, it's a little difficult to find a station open, let alone one now that the one you go to that doesn't have fuel. And so I wonder how many of you around Southwest Florida have noticed that as well. Did you try to get fuel yesterday? I know you were talking about it. Did you try? Because people, and don't panic buy. The reason why it's happening is because people are panic buying.
Yeah, I asked you yesterday if I was to get gas. You said yes, so I got myself enough gas for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Which is just a full tank, like normal.
Oh, all
Like,
right, yes.
I didn't go
You didn't go,
overboard.
right, you didn't fill up gas cans or
No,
anything like
I
that.
don't do that.
You weren't like that one woman that we have seen in that viral video who
From the
filled up
tub?
she filled up a garbage bag, a plastic garbage bag with gasoline at the pump on video. Yeah, don't do that. That's a big no-no. Good lesson for the kids. Garbage bags are not for filling up fuel with. It was a pretty embarrassing thing to see. But I heard stories yesterday, and you may have heard these as well. In Charlotte, North Carolina, 70% of the Metro Charlotte stations out of fuel. The same with Atlanta. They're having the same issue there. And you see how this works, right? You get a metro area like a Charlotte or an Atlanta. They start seeing that there's no fuel. They start to panic because they don't know what to do, and it goes out. And you go further south and further south. You're looking for places. The places that start to lose fuel are looking for. Do you see how this kind of can spread? And it's not just what's on the ground there in your locale, but then it becomes spread out throughout areas that are not in the metro. And so we're seeing a little bit of that. And the discussion this morning has been about Colonial getting back online, which is good. It's going to be a little while before they get going. But there are stories that are out there and people that are watching that are just looking at this like, what in the world is this administration doing? How in the world are you taking care of this? And there are left-leaning. I was just looking at a story. Let me see if I can find this. Where was that? I want to say it was like, of all places, it was the Washington Post. Listen to this. Now, this is what you're going to find. And then we're going to move on to the Liz Cheney topic, because I'm just wondering how many of you really care about what Liz Cheney thinks. You shouldn't, but you should. There is the reality of Liz Cheney, and then there's this imaginary what in the world she is talking about and how she is helping the left. She's not helping the party. She's just not. So, have you ever heard of Republicans pounce? You ever heard of that expression, Republicans pounce? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. This is how it works. Imagine the Biden administration. Imagine it's Joe Biden who is, I don't know. He's talking about some issue, and he says something completely ridiculous, and the media is not paying attention to the thing that he says. What they're trying to focus on is about the response. And you've probably heard this before. And so there's this expression about Republicans pounce. And what that means is that you'll look at a story, and when you see the story, you'll look for the headline, which is, what did Joe Biden do? What did the Democrat do? What kind of problems did the Democrat liberal ideology policy cause? Instead, the media will give you the flip of that and say Republicans pounce on something that happened and it's the Republicans' fault and they're bad, and that's the whole Republicans pounce. So once you see that, you can't unsee it. And there's the Washington Post with a Republicans pounce story. Here it is. Washington Post. The headline is Biden administration struggles to limit political damage from gas shortage. And the first headline, and this is from Twitter. I didn't read the whole article. I'm just looking at it right now. It says, Republicans have seized on the crisis. There you go. Republicans pounce. Republicans have seized on the crisis to attack Biden's energy policies and portray him as an agent of chaos amid other challenges. Oh my gosh. That's the Washington Post. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. How's that big giant yacht going on with the yacht within a yacht? Because, you know, it's It's always a good thing when you have an opportunity to use all of that money that Jeff Bezos has to, I don't know, help educate kids, help to stop abortion, help to do all kinds of things. But no, you don't do that. You've got the Washington Post that is continuing headlines like that. Republicans have seized on the crisis to attack Biden's energy policies and portray him as an agent of chaos amid other challenges. So it's the Republicans' fault. You see that? Republicans pounce. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's a joke. But when you're looking at what could possibly happen next and whether or not this administration knows what it's doing when it comes to energy, it seems more and more each day like it's lost. The other side of it has to be looked at as well. And let's put that all aside for a second. We know the Colonial Pipeline is going to get back up and running. You're going to hear 635 Kara Frederick from yesterday, this interview about cybersecurity and the concerns about how you get pipelines back up and how prevalent this is and those important concerns they are. But then you also have how you have a party, the Republican Party, that is going to have to decide internally whether or not they are willing to make it about Democrats, liberals, the liberal ideology, how close we are slipping into socialism like we've never seen before. We're becoming France more and more every day, and then some, and how I don't care if Mitch McConnell puts out some grand statement that says, Democrats just don't want to work with us. I haven't had a meet. I don't care. What are you doing? When you have Liz Cheney who's out there, who's saying some of the most awful things. It's flat out, some of the most awful things. When we know that Liz Cheney loses her leadership position yesterday, right? It's gone. She's done. Voted her out of leadership. And then we know that Liz Cheney is going to go scorched earth. She's going to go on Brett Baer's program. She's going to go on, I don't know if she did or not already. She may have. She's going to go on the Today Show, I guess today. She's going on all the talk shows. What do you think she's going to do, everybody? She's going scorched earth, meaning she's going after Trump. That's why places like the Today Show and other left-leaning organizations, news outlets, are going to take her on and have her on their program because they know that she's going to bash the former president, and they love it. And if you don't think that's the case, remember what Liz Cheney said yesterday after stepping up to the House floor, letting everybody know, in her opinion, how it was Donald Trump who started I'm not calling it an insurrection on January 6th, caused the storming of the Capitol building on January 6th. And it's him who has caused all these problems. He doesn't believe in the Constitution or the rule of law on the House floor to try to make her case and then try to talk a little bit about China and some of the other issues, what she sees. And then leadership says, and everybody votes and says, yep, you're out of a leadership position. And then she takes to the microphone right afterwards, everybody. And when asked about the concerns that she has about Donald Trump possibly running for president again, she says,
I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office. We have seen the danger.
We have seen the danger. Really? We've seen the danger?
That he continues to provoke with his language. We have seen his lack.
I'm just going to stop right there. Let me just stop. The first question that came to me, and I'm sure has been something that you've thought about as well, as there are people, Chip Roy, Elise Stefanik, others that are trying to battle for this leadership position in the Republican Party, the vacant leadership seat, and who's really a conservative and who's really kind of faking it and trying to make it look as if, but they're really not. Elise Stefanik, for as much as the former president may believe she's the next in line to do this, she is no conservative and she's no friend of you and I when it comes to our values. She talks a big talk, but when she walks the walk, she does not walk the walk that we do. She has a history as a representative out of the state of New York. She has a history. She has a past. And if you look at it, you come to find out that she's not the person you want in leadership. So when she says that, when you have Liz Cheney doing this, you quickly realize that out of 435 representatives that are out there, number one, why does she get all this juice? Because her dad was Dick Cheney, former vice president? former Secretary of Defense Cheney? Because of her name, she gets all this power, all this juice. Why? She's one of 435. Why should she? She shouldn't. She doesn't have any more representation as far as the party is concerned than anybody else. So that we need to recognize, and somebody needs to say it. I mean, I'm saying it, but somebody else needs to say that. Why is everybody looking at her as if she's the end-all, be-all when it comes to decisions about the party? She's not. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is she's ready to go scorched earth against Donald Trump, thinking that that's going to bring somehow the party back together. So whose party is it, everybody? Is it Liz Cheney's party or is it Donald Trump's party? Is the Republican Party Liz Cheney's to remake in the image of Liz Cheney? And you know what that looks like. Or is it Donald Trump's party, and it's not going anywhere? 74 million people were not wrong. They understood the policy. They understood the things that he was able to accomplish, and you need to just sit down and stop this nonsense, especially when you consider that a Democrat Party and the media loves this. They're lapping it up. They're going to enjoy to no end you going out onto their programs and their talk shows to talk down about the president. And yet you either think somehow, some way in the party, and let's take a break, Jake. Let's get ready to do that. But somehow, some way in the party, Liz Cheney believes that she has a lane and that all of these things that she's doing, so either she has a lane and she feels like she has the chance to remake the party and everybody's going to follow her, or you have somebody who's not exactly going to be sticking around very long, who may have a book deal or a MSNBC, CNN, Fox News analyst job on her mind that'll pay the bills and might find some friendly faces because they're not fans of the former president either. Who might that be? Is that the situation? You tell me. 239-479-5592. When we come back, Kara Frederick, this is a pretty important interview to listen to about our cybersecurity, the Colonial Pipeline, and really what that means, even about this pandemic that I talked about yesterday of ransomware. This is the new pandemic that's coming down the road, everybody. This is the one thing that we're all going to have to look at and we're going to see more and more and more of. And if we don't lock this down and do something, it's not going to be pleasant. We'll talk about that coming up on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The cost of just about everything is going up. Consumer prices rising 4.2% last month compared to the same time a year ago. Those increases apparently had Wall Street jittery Wednesday, the Dow closing down nearly 700 points, the S&P down 89, the Nasdaq off by 358. The Colonial Pipeline is reopened, but the line that fuels so much of the East Coast is going to take some time to get supplies back to normal. That means hoarding continues, leaving gas stations in the Southeast running on empty.
In North Carolina, 70% of gas stations are out of fuel altogether. In Virginia, it's more than 50% of stations, and in Georgia and South Carolina, it's almost 50%.
Fox's Trace Gallagher. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jill Nato, invested in you.
Summer's right around the corner, and the coolest new shirts just arrived at Untuckit. We have performance shirts that wick sweat, short sleeve styles to beat the heat, and our comfortable polos. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they're just the thing to look and feel cool in the summer heat. And Untuckit shirts are perfect as we transition back to the things we've been missing, like dinner with friends, reuniting with family, and vacations too. When the heat is on, the #1 shirt to keep you cool is Untuckit. Use code
There are few pleasures so missed when you're away, or as taken for granted when you're not, than the simple pleasure of being at home in your favorite room. When your home is your oasis, it can be an even better one. when you give your family the gift of lasting organization. Why choose Closet Factory? So you'll fall in love all over again with a home that works, lives, and feels better. That's how we build it at Closet Factory.
I received a call the other day from a woman. Her husband tragically was unable to call himself, but he had told her, if anything ever happens to me, call Morgan & Morgan. And what higher honor could we receive than protecting someone's family after they're gone? Life can be shattered in a moment. When that happens, know that America's largest injury law firm is here for you. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When was the last time you ate at Spanky's? Hi, I'm Emily Monty, and my husband Ted and I invite you to dine with us for lunch or dinner on Naples' most enjoyable open-air waterfront patio or inside among hundreds of vintage antiques and memorabilia. Our variety of dining options ensures the comfort for all of our guests. Spanky's has been a Naples landmark for over 37 years. Whether you're looking for Naples' best prime rib or fresh seafood, Spanky's has something for everyone, offering the highest quality product at an exceptional value. Spanky's has daily lunch and dinner specials and early bird dining from 4 to 5:30. Dining is also available in our full bar while you enjoy daily happy hour. At Spanky's, we understand you have many local dining options. That's why it's our mission to provide you with our warm Southern hospitality that keeps our customers coming back for years to come. Visit Spanky's today on Airport Pulling Road, just south of Golden Gate Parkway, Naples.
Manufactured in the USA, Plantation Shutters for You is the best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Built to last forever. They will not be undersold. Start with a free consultation. PlantationShuttersForYou.com. And God bless everyone.
Hey, it's Drew Steele. You know the real estate market's really hot right now, but for how long? Well, nobody really knows. I mean, if people don't catch up on their mortgage payments because of COVID, the market's going to get flooded with foreclosure inventory, and that's scary because your home's value could plummet. So if you thought about selling...
All right, good morning. Hello, everybody there on the website, drewsteele.com. If you're watching on your mobile, your computer, on your smart tablet, if you're watching at Facebook at Drew Steele Radio, wherever you are. Let's do it. First, let's do a rundown real quick. Let's see who's watching. Who's here? Let's do a quick rundown. All right, Donna. Donna's here. Donna's the first one up. Good morning. With the great picture, and look at that, a little sunshine. The sun's not up yet, is it? I don't think so. But all right, Donna's with us, and that's it. Nobody else. All right, so we got all these people watching, and nobody is with us paying attention right now. I'm kidding. All right, let's see. Jessica's here. Good morning, Jessica. All right. All right, cool. You like the website. That's good. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's just simple. It's easy for you to just click on it and watch. All right, Gary's always here. I knew that, Gary. I knew you would be here. Oh, yeah. Come on, the bakery. Come on. Oh, man. All right. What's big? Anna, what's big this morning at the bakery? What's big? Tell me. Text back. Good morning, Ed M. Matthew. Good morning, Matthew. That's a great picture. Very nice. I like that. Another Gary. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Let's see. Who else is here? Ken is here as always. Good morning. It's Sunshine. All right, Sunshine. Happy Sun. Smiley sunglass face. Larry, good morning. 2 thumbs up. Good to see you there. Sandy Myth. Good morning. And that's either a sunrise coming through 2 mountains or it's a volcano. I can't tell. It's such a small picture. It's really hard to say. I hope it's not a volcano. All right, it's coffee time. Good morning, Laura. Good to see you there. And Debbie is there as well. Good morning. And I got to say good morning to Jake, too. Hey, Debbie Eicher says good morning. Okay. Oh, he gave you a salute. That was a good one. All right. Democrats. Teresa says Democrats are a disaster. That's really all I have to say. Good night, everybody. All right, Anna's here. Good morning. She's always got a great picture. Thank you so much. We love you back. Allison is here this morning as well. You're too kind. Look at that little baby. Look at that face. All right, Allison, we appreciate you. Good morning there, Mr. DVM. I love that picture of the dog. It's great. Let's see. Just in case you were tuning in earlier and you don't know, we had a complete and utter meltdown of the computers this morning. Everything just shut down. Everything. Gone. So I walked in and couldn't do anything. Frozen. until about 10 minutes before the show. So it was frustrating. Nobody's fault. Stuff happens. It's okay. You just kind of, how do I say it? Look, here's the best advice I could give you. Are you ready for advice? This is the best advice I could give you. First, I got to say hi to Mona. Hello, Mona. That's a great picture. And a thumbs up. Here's the best advice I can give you. Oh, wait a minute. I have to say good morning. All right. Blitz 2002. Good morning. If anybody else is popping up before I make my point. Okay. Best advice I could give you is very, very simple. You're always going to have things that go wrong. You're always going to have things in life that are going to just mess up. And you have the choice to either say, I'm going to let this destroy everything that I'm going to do from that moment on, or you be like MacGyver and you figure out how to use a pack of chewing gum and a matchstick and a banana and figure out how to fix it and how to make it right. And you just take a breath and you tackle the moment. And that's what we do. We just tackle the moment. So that's it. So it's pretty simple. And that's my advice. Gator Lynn says, be better, not bitter. You did it in 4 words. I did it in full, complete sentences, paragraphs, and maybe a little too much time because people's eyes glaze over. But yes, that's the point. You just take the moment and suck it up, take a breath, and go, okay, and make it right. And so that's what we did. All right, and I need coffee. Okay, good. Well, thank you all for watching. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. The interview is really good, so stick around for that. And then, if you want to make some suggestions, whatever you want to talk about, we're there. We're here. Sounds good.
Business since 1949, and now offering Kobe's exclusive brand, the Florida Reserve. Call and ask us about a 10-year guarantee with no hassle warranties.
Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. A statement like that might get you canceled these days. Who said it? Benjamin Franklin. I'm Lori Roman, president of the American Constitutional Rights Union, and this is a Live Free Minute. The founders risked everything to fight for liberty. Imagine what they would think about COVID passports. Tying medical choices to the ability to participate in society is unconstitutional and creepy. Please join us in standing up against COVID passports, whether enacted by the government or the private sector, because without the freedom to make our own medical choices and engage in commerce, we can't live free. This Live Free Minute is brought to you by the American Constitutional Rights Union, a national nonprofit based in Naples, Florida. If you'd like to learn more, visit theacru.org. theacru.org.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Chocolate sheet cake is different. It's richer and chocolatier. Count on Bluebell to make it into milk chocolate ice cream with delicious chocolate sheet cake pieces, chopped pecans, and a chocolate icing swirl. It's fresh out of the oven. I mean freezing.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream, available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Every day in business is a big day. Whatever your day brings, Comcast Business can help you handle it with reliable gig speeds and advanced cybersecurity solutions. Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary. Call for details.
Being involved in a legal dispute can leave you feeling like you've lost control. I'm Eli Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Understanding the law and the rules of evidence can mean the difference between winning or losing your case. If you are involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. and take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan with some good news from the factory. We've just been authorized to add all brands to the list of vehicles eligible for our trade-in offer. Yep, literally all brands qualify now. So if your 9-year-old Beamer just hit 100,000 miles, don't cry. Stop paying for expensive repairs and premium gas for that old gas-guzzling luxury brand you're driving. As long as it's a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, bring it to Naples Nissan to get the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new, fuel-efficient Nissan today. Whatever your trade-in was worth when it was brand new, even if you didn't buy it new, regardless of where you bought it from, and regardless of what brand it is, that's what we'll give you for it. Get full details at naplesnissan.com. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, coming up this morning, some more information on mask mandates in our schools here in Collier County and Lee County. And I just don't understand why we have districts that seem to want to continue to push and lie and distort the facts and the science and try to insist that we only got a couple of more weeks left. We're just going to keep the kids masked up. I mean, if I were a child and had to go through this, and a parent in a public school and had to go through masking every single day, I would, if there were only 2 days left in the school year, I'd want those 2 days to be masks optional. I would like that to be mask free. What's the problem with mask optional? You got a parent who wants to do that? Go right ahead and do that. You want to mask up the child? Go ahead. If they don't have a problem with it, that's fine. But the rest of us are not interested in that. So why is there pushback? I'm going to talk about that. CRT is back in the news. Again, even locally, what is going on here? Why is there such an insistence on book publishers and teachers and administrators and superintendents and people who desperately want to have critical race theory taught in our schools no matter what, without you even knowing it sometimes? It's going to happen. It's just the way it is. It's the new norm. It's not the new norm. It's only the new norm if you accept it. So we'll have that coming up. All right, in case you missed it from yesterday, this was a great interview. Kara Frederick joined us, a research fellow for the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org, and she also led the counterterrorism programs at Facebook, 6 years as a counterterrorism analyst at the Department of Defense. And so I wanted to have her on yesterday and ask the question, a couple of questions. The first question we talked about was about Colonial Pipeline and even private businesses. And what do we do here with these ransomware attacks and having them be able to shore all of this up?
Yep, I think we need to take a multifaceted approach. So you mentioned kids in the basement, you mentioned nation states. Now the strategic intentions of those nation state actors, of for-profit cyber criminals, of hacktivists, increasingly intertwined. So that really heightens the potential for chaos. And we're seeing a little bit of it now. So what happened was on Monday, the FBI confirmed that there was a group of cyber criminals. They call themselves the Dark Side. This is a relatively new group, likely based in Eastern Europe, possibly even in Russia. And they took ransomware and basically installed malicious software on Colonial Pipeline's corporate systems. So in simplest terms, ransomware it's malware that locks until the victim pays money to regain access. And we've seen this happen a lot in the past few years. Established tactics include holding a user's data hostage and trying to get a few $100s in Bitcoin. Attackers are making use of new ransomware strains that infect entire organizations and companies, as you mentioned. So those demands are more than a few $100s in Bitcoin. They become things like $50K per attack. We've seen them hit hospitals. We've seen them hit other areas and infrastructure that rely on access to data to keep services running. This big disruptive event on U.S. energy infrastructure, this is huge. And I do think, it's not just like the Twitter hack, some teenager in his mom's basement. It's a group that is implicitly sort of sanctioned by a nation state. And in this case, most likely Russia. Other cybersecurity experts talk specifically about this spectrum of national responsibility. And we know that these groups of really pretty decent cyber operatives are operating with not necessarily the explicit imprimatur of a nation state, but they're there with tacit approval. Russia pretty much knows that these cyber criminals operate within their borders or on some of using the tactics that they taught them if they were former military or people who had previously worked within their systems with actual nation state representation. So Russia is aware that they're happening. They like the effects, chaos in the United States, so they're going to let it keep happening. And we need to impose costs on Russia when it comes to that.
Right. So, one of the things I take away from what you were just talking about is, boy, you just opened up a vulnerability there. They're asking for Bitcoin. Everybody knows it's Dogecoin, right? I mean, Kara, there's a vulnerability we can know. But in all seriousness, though, when I bring that up, and that's terrible that I'm stereotyping kids in basements who are doing things and hacking, but it brought up another question that I talked to some people in the newsroom about, and maybe you can address this, and even with your time at Facebook, and it's this. When we look at this situation, there are so many people that say to me, why are we not doing something in response with the best and the brightest in the country that are under the guise of the DOD to say, look, I don't care. How much do you want? Money is not even an object. If I've got to pay you millions of dollars, a kid who's studied code and in the basement and has this expertise, because these kids look at it, I say kids, but people look at it like it's a game. I mean, it's fun for them, hackers going after other hackers. I mean, they have conferences built around hacking. So we know it's like a game to them. Why can't we do that? Or do we already have that in the DOD? Or like Facebook, did they have that built in where they had people that were like, look, this is your job. Go out there, have fun, go find the hackers and hack them and get their information so that we can find out more about them. Is that even being done?
So on the DOD side, absolutely. And this is on the heels of the Trump administration really relaxing a lot of the restrictions that were put in place on offensive cyber operations. And I'm not talking about, offensive information operations. The U.S. is traditionally pretty bad at that. But when it comes to actually these hard cyber operations, we in Cyber Command, their vision statement included the idea of tactical friction, which means make it harder for the enemy to do what they do, and then defending forward. So that means getting in their systems if you can and preventing from doing something brought on by a nation state like this. So we do have some really, really great people, these programmers who are, have those computer science degrees from Stanford, everyone that you would sort of want on the problem to. A lot of that talent, though, like you said, is in the private sector. And when I was at Facebook, I dealt with counterterrorism analysis. So our whole thing was to take all the publicly available information, see how terrorists behave on a digital platform, and improve our platform-based reactions in that way. So we weren't involved. My group wasn't involved in any sort of offensive operations. I don't think a corporation necessarily, I could be ignorant, but from my experience, I didn't experience anybody doing that, but they want to make money again. They're concerned about their bottom line, not necessarily the national security of the United States. But in terms of DOD, in terms of that tactical friction, that defending forward, there were some pretty famous cases where we got in there and we disrupted Russia's efforts, ISIS's efforts to propagate nefarious content on platforms and mess with our elections and whatnot a few years ago. David Sanger in the New York Times chronicles those operations. So we're doing it. We should do it better. I think we should do more of it. We should impose costs on those nations that are responsible for harboring these cyber criminals and sort of giving them the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, do what you can do. So I just think we need to see more of it. We need to impose those costs on our enemies.
Yeah, that's going to end up being one of the issues that this administration is going to have to deal with. And quite honestly, administrations into the future, the president saying he's going to talk to Putin about this. But then at the same time, how do you tell whether or not the hacker is somehow being, I guess, giving them safe harbor is, I guess, all there is that where they're located. How do you know where they're located? And then whether or not that country is doing that, is that going to be enough to do what in response? Like, what do you end up doing politically in response? There's always that question. But then, Kara, even the bigger question, and you've addressed this, and And because many people say, all right, look, we get it. We got a problem. The pipeline gets shut down, whether or not it's a private entity or a public entity. We certainly hear about all of this, but come on now. All of these years, all of the times that we hear about this, whether it's a local hospital or something getting, or a county commission getting ransomware and they have to pay it because of what's going on there, or even the electrical grid and how many times we've heard about the issues of that. What do we do now with technology? What's next up? Like, what would be new technologies that we could put in place to do something to stop this? What about that?
Great question. So I think thinking about that in the context of this fact that by 2025, almost 5 billion people will have access to the web. Thinking about it in that context, you're right. We need to do something that's just beyond putting our finger in the dike. So there needs to be that multifaceted approach. And when you talk about technology, there has to be a combination of defense and offense in that way. And, transparency is a big deal. I think we need to make sure that these companies provide incident reports to the public. So that's not just technology, but it's all encompassing. You're not just talking technical solutions here. If you do want to talk about technical solutions, then that means we have to harden our digital security. So 80 to 90% of U.S. critical infrastructure, it's privately owned. These companies have to assume that they're going to be targeted, and they have to have a plan in place to respond. They need to continuously evaluate and shore up their defenses. They need to invest in cybersecurity, those new defenses and technical solutions, like you said, that are coming down the line. Their operations software. Individual Americans need to think about it too. Always back up your data. My dad's a pilot. He says never miss an opportunity to get gas or use the restroom. Never miss an opportunity to back up your data. Update your software. And then there are some interesting technical solutions, finally getting to your question, where private sector engineers have crafted programs like in Europol, they have a No More Ransom initiative, which uses a bank of decryption tools to help retrieve data. So it helps these companies really improve their toolkits. So there are technical solutions. There are things that companies need to do. People talk about information sharing in the cyber world. People say information sharing is the thoughts and prayers of, our political discourse. But it's true. We really need to help these companies share information with the government when they've been attacked. They need to publicize information about cyber breaches. Yes, we need to protect their proprietary information as well, but they need to learn from each other and share that information with the government when it happens so we can do better the next time. And there will be a next time.
Yeah. And so the last question I'll ask, and it's my producer who's big into this area. So he's asking the question, then is it possible that the answer for better security is the blockchain?
I'm pretty bullish on the blockchain and these areas where you can, make sure that chains of custody are spoken for. And, I think the encryption debates are really interesting as well. Mm-hmm. I just wrote something with Richard Fontanian in the Wall Street Journal this past week about privacy-preserving technologies. So it's the same kind of concept, that decentralization. Right. I really think years ago I would have laughed at you if you said blockchain, but I really think there are some really interesting strides and developments being made. I think we need to think more seriously about integrating it into, any technology that we can.
Yeah, because that was a big argument, not an argument, but a discussion early on when people were talking about Bitcoin, and I don't understand, and I don't get what it is, and it doesn't make any sense. And then you would explain, well, it's the blockchain. Well, what's the blockchain? I don't understand. The whole idea behind the blockchain was a secure network from peer to peer. That was the big discussion. It was all about security. It was also, that's why people always complained about the transfer of funds by people with nefarious ideas in countries and entities, and the fact that if they're using Bitcoin to exchange, well, it's hard to track, it's hard to trace because of the security side of that. Well, that could be used as a plus as well to say, well, we could use this same system for securities like this, and ones that we can't afford to have knocked offline, so to speak. So I wonder if that's maybe the next big venture point, I guess.
Yeah. The more you can layer security, the better.
You better. And that's how we ended, Kara. That's perfect. Just like that. All right, Kara Frederick joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Great stuff. Research fellow with the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. And we do appreciate it. Hey, we got to do this again. This was great. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
92.5 Fox News.
Traffic on Daniels Parkway is just packed. Taking a look at my traffic cams, no relief. A usual morning on Daniels heading westbound to I-75. Now, if you are in Lehigh Acres, a slowdown beginning on 23rd heading west towards Gunnery. There's also delays on Lee Boulevard westbound to Gunnery. Keep this in mind as you're commuting towards Lehigh Senior High School. Cape Coral commuters, congestion beginning on the Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. Also slowing traffic on Coronado heading southbound to Cape Coral Parkway. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. Warm and muggy to start off your day, but clouds will actually limit our temperatures from warming this afternoon. Most of you in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Still going to see a few showers and storms, mainly inland across the area this afternoon, but drier and mixes in as we head into the weekend. And hey, it'll be a nice change from what we've seen lately. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Rush Limbaugh. During Easter week, has been preaching about the coronavirus. In March, the Pope said the pandemic is nature having a fit because of pollution, a lack of any action on climate change. On April 1st, Il Papa said we got sick because we weren't listening to the cry of our ailing planet. And last Wednesday, he doubled down on his environmentalist wacko message. He called the coronavirus pandemic nature's response to man-made global warming during Easter week. In an interview with The Tablet, a Catholic magazine, the Pope quoted a Spanish expression, God always forgives. We forgive sometimes, but nature never forgives. He said the world has not heeded recent catastrophes, like the fires in Australia, melting North Pole glaciers that aren't melting, and recent floods. He said he isn't sure if these are nature's revenge, but they certainly are nature's response. What a crock. Pope Francis went on to say the coronavirus outbreak is an opportunity to inspire change, to slow down our rate of production and consumption. He says it's time to move from using and misusing nature to contemplating it. Well, while we all contemplate nature, maybe we and other nations can also spend a few minutes contemplating our relationship with the Chi-Coms in light of this global economic shutdown. Meanwhile, it's no shock that Il Papa is spouting more left-wing wacko dogma. As I always say, liberals are liberals first, even the Pope.
Have you ever thought about investing in real estate but didn't have the time? Or maybe you didn't want to worry about the hassles of the tenants, toilets, or trash. Introducing PassiveInvesting.com, a national private equity real estate firm. Now you can invest passively into cash-flowing real estate without the hassles. We have an offering available to invest right now in an institutional-level luxury apartment community in Orlando. Only available to independently verified accredited investors. Visit PassiveInvesting.com for more details.
If your basement smells like mildew, it could be coming from the last place you'd expect, your gutters. That's right. Clogged gutters cause rainwater to overflow and seep right into your foundation. Now I'm smelling costly repairs. Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter guard, is a one-time investment that keeps debris out and comes with a lifetime transferable warranty. So schedule your free estimate now. Call 844-300-LEAF. That's 844-300-LEAF. Or visit tryleaffilter.com and keep gutters clean for good.
Does market turbulence and economic turmoil have you worried about your retirement nest egg? I'm Alfie Townsend. Learn how to navigate these uncertain times. Tune in to Saving the Investor radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
Are you looking for more than just another job at an HVAC, plumbing, and electric company? Come explore your new career opportunities with Florida Cool today at their open house on Saturday, May 15th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They have been serving our community for over 60 years, delivering the best while offering their employees competitive incentives and continued education. They are hiring HVAC techs, plumbers, and electricians. Saturday, May 15th. Visit us at 1161 Sun Century Road, right off of 41 Naples.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com. That's the website, Steele has 3 E's in case you want to watch. Coming up, we'll talk more about some of the things that are going on here in the state, including some of the issues, again, with education and CRT and mask mandates and whether or not our kids should or shouldn't be masked. I can't even believe we're having this discussion. I can't even believe this is still there. To make it optional, why is it that parents' voices are not being heard on this? I know didn't Biden say something about some good news yesterday about the fact that we got 12-year-olds that are going to get vaxxed up? Isn't that a good thing, right? Isn't that what he said?
Vaccinations for adolescents, ages 12 and older. And then on Monday, after rigorous, thorough review, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, authorized Pfizer vaccine for use in that age category, 12 and up.
12 and up. You're 12-year-old. Are you thinking about, again, I asked this the other day, but I'm asking again, 239-479-5592, and maybe you have a thought on this. You ready to vaccinate your 12-year-old? Are you ready to do that? When we think about the spreading, kids spreading it to others, where we don't hear that happening in the kind of numbers that we're told, and the effects of the virus on kids and how minimal it is, and even deaths, as horrible as they are, very, 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 can I say very, 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 very few. So we're going to do that. I don't know, maybe that's something we'll talk about coming up.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
The real estate market is really hot right now, but for how long? I'm Anthony Gomes from GomesMovesHomes.com. You've heard Drew Steele talk about me on his show. If you're thinking about selling your home for a premium price, now is the time. You can sell over market value without doing repairs, letting strangers in your home, and you pick the closing date. Learn how for free. No pressure, no obligation. Go to GomesMovesHomes.com. GomesMovesHomes.com.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay it time. Always on time or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
When it comes to weather forecasting here in Southwest Florida, accuracy matters.
Meteorologist Matt Devitt told you when this storm would hit.
Reliability matters.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt is tracking this powerful storm.
Experience matters.
Just had a huge surge come in from the Atlantic.
Trust Matt Devitt.
Bring that umbrella. Look at all the rain.
Wink News Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt. Weeknights on Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Next Rachel.
All right, we're in the garage. Let's try this out.
Human Lab is back.
I can transform clear glass into a mirror.
The 411 on DIY tools.
Oh, isn't that satisfying? I would totally use it again.
That could help your next or first project.
We can do this. We got it.
Then, a man who takes animal rescue to new heights. Plus, a spaghetti and cutlet combo. Next, Rachel.
Rachel Ray, this morning at 11 on WXCW.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
The pipeline's back, but a lot of gas pumps are dry.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's especially bad in North Carolina.
Gas analysts say that just about 75% of gas stations all across our state have no supply at all.
Lindsay Tuman with Fox 8 TV in Greensboro.
We've seen long lines of cars spilling out into parking lots, filing even into the road.
And there have been even fights. Similar shortages also have about half the gas stations empty from Virginia to South Carolina to Georgia. Colonial put out a statement that it'll take several days to get gasoline delivery back to normal. President Biden has eased some restrictions on fuel shipments to increase deliveries. He also issued an executive order to bolster cybersecurity after the ransomware attack that hit Colonial Pipeline last week and shut the deliveries down. The president will meet with more Republicans today, trying to find common ground on a massive infrastructure rebuild. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has more live.
Dave, 6 GOP senators are heading to the White House to discuss President Biden's infrastructure plans, which could cost $4 trillion. President Biden told MSNBC most Americans like his ideas.
We got 78% of the American people, if I'm not mistaken, the last major poll done, showing that they support what I'm talking about, this gigantic effort to try to build back better.
The meeting comes after top leadership from the House and Senate sat down with the president on Wednesday. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell emerged, saying Republicans would support traditional infrastructure only, such as broadband, roads, and bridges. Dave?
Rachel, Pfizer's COVID vaccine has now been approved by the FDA and the CDC for kids 12 to 15.
And I encourage their parents to make sure they get the shot.
The president says it's safe and free. It's the same dose adults have been getting, and the shots will be 3 weeks apart. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Traffic on Daniels Parkway is just packed. Taking a look at my traffic cams, no relief. A usual morning on Daniels heading westbound to I-75. Now, if you are in Lehigh Acres, a slowdown beginning on 23rd heading west towards Gunnery. There's also delays on Lee Boulevard westbound to Gunnery. Keep this in mind as you're commuting towards Lehigh Senior High School. Cape Coral commuters, congestion beginning on the Midpoint Bridge into Fort Myers. Also slowing traffic on Coronado heading southbound to Cape Coral Parkway. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. We are still seeing that warm and muggy start with temps in the 70s. This afternoon, though, with a lot of cloud cover, we're going to be limited to the upper 80s to near 90. That's also going to allow for a few spotty showers and thunderstorms to develop, but probably not as widespread as the past few days. Drier air mixes in behind a cold front Friday into Saturday, and the weekend looks beautiful across the entire region. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
More delightful than driving a convertible Bentley while wearing mink underpants. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We want your car, truck, van, or SUV today. We are paying top dollar for clean vehicles. Before you sell or trade, call Lee Auto Group to get the most money for your car. Lee Auto Group, lee-cars.com. Don't forget the dash.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
Dr. Svetlana Kogan here, a board-certified internal medicine concierge physician on 5th Avenue South in Naples. Many of you wonder what holistic practice is. Well, good health is like a puzzle. It depends on how you perceive yourself, your environment, what you eat, your relationships, and lifestyle. It takes time and skill for the doctor to put these pieces of the puzzle together for you and come up with solutions customized to your specific needs. Holistic doctors believe that less medication is better and use preventive approach to keep you out of harm's way. This is also a concierge practice. Every patient gets my email and cell phone for emergencies and can be seen the same day if necessary. You are seen by me personally, and we take all the time that you need. You can visit my website, customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com to learn about how I, Dr. Svetlana Kogan, can help you feel healthy and balanced again.
Really a good feeling to know that when it comes to your house and all the water that is in every faucet, every place in your home, that you don't have to worry about the water smelling like chlorine or messing up your shower glass, your faucets, right, with that hard water staining, the drying out of your skin and your hair. Just imagine what that would be like. You don't have to imagine it. You can just do it. You call the Uniform Pentair water specialist. They can find out what's going on with your water and handle your city or well water issues. Yours, right here in Southwest Florida. With their mobile showroom, you can see for yourself that Pentair has both high-performance salt systems and salt-free solutions too. And salt-free means no lugging in bags of salt for you, and that they can install that Pentair water system for you as well. You're going to love the way your water tastes from every faucet and the peace of mind that only a Pentair water system can give you. So call now and get your free digital Pentair water test. Save 15% on your whole home water system by calling 239-880-7799. That's 239-880-7799 or book online at PelicanWestFL.com.
Florida voters overwhelmingly passed a constitutional amendment to do one simple thing. Require that any expansion of gambling be approved by the voters, not the politicians, not the lobbyists. It's called voter control of gambling, and it's the law. But gambling lobbyists want politicians to break it. They've hatched a plan to expand gambling without your approval. More casinos, legalized sports betting, even slot machines on cell phones, just like the strip mall casinos that called themselves internet cafes. All over again, and all cooked up by Tallahassee lobbyists. It would be the biggest expansion of gambling in Florida history without the biggest thing required by Florida's Constitution, your approval. Voter control of gambling isn't a suggestion. It's the law. Tell your legislator, don't break it. Sponsored by No Casinos.
Hi, this is Keith, the owner of Storm Shield Windows in North Fort Myers, and Storm Shield wants you to be prepared for the upcoming season. Global Weather Oscillations, an organization that predicts storms and hurricanes, has just been cited as the most accurate in storm forecasting by the media. Professor David Dilley, senior forecaster for Global Weather Oscillations, says that GWO's Climate Pulse technology model indicates that some regions of the United States have entered or will be entering the most dangerous hurricane landfall cycle in 70 years.
The experience with their product was great. We went through the storm. We didn't have to rush around and get plywood. We didn't have to put up shutters. It wasn't loud. It wasn't scary. There was no noise at all. We could see outside the whole time. We felt safe, and I just can't thank Storm Shield enough for the quality of their product and the peace of mind and security that it gave my family and me through the storm.
Enjoy the peace of mind, safety, and security that Storm Shield hurricane windows and doors will add to your home. Call Storm Shield for a free in-home estimate today at 239-491-7000. 491-7002.
License number CGCA 60475.
Is your HR department struggling? Is payroll becoming unmanageable? What about insurance? When you track hours for dozens or perhaps even thousands of employees, Paycheck's all-in-one human resources, insurance, and payroll solutions can bring it all together. You'll have access to HR guidance, best practices, and employee tools. Get the insurance coverage you need to protect your company and competitive benefits for your employees with cost-sensitive health insurance, mobile access to HR analytics, training, and 50 years of expertise in payroll, HR, benefits, and insurance. Paychecks can help you stay up to date on changing regulations, get recommendations, and improve employee benefit options. Paycheck's suite of next-generation HR solutions can help fine-tune your operations and assist in taking your business to the next level. Sign up today for 1 month free at paychecks.com/future.
Insurance is sold and serviced by Paycheck Insurance Agency, Inc., 150 Sawgrass Drive, Rochester, New York, 14620. California license number 0C28207.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and the text line. Streaming live on the website, drewsteele.com. Steele has 3 E's, and the website is set up to be mobile-friendly for your phone or your smart device, tablet, or your computer. It's just a simple, basic site, but it's just so that you can click on and go, oh, look, there he is. Also, at Facebook, at Drew Steele Radio. Coming up, we'll talk a little bit about this. Guess who comprised the majority of Trump 2020's voters? Do you think you know? I'll bet you don't. And boy, talk about busting the narrative. Talk about all you angry white racist evangelicals. Yeah, there's a whole other number out there that people are going to want to talk about, especially on the heels of Liz Cheney, who's talking about getting rid of Trump and any vestige of Trump, and Trump has got to be out and, all that kind of good stuff. The kind of thing that unifies a party. Yeah, so we're going to get to that coming up. And also a couple of other stories that I wanted to touch on, including something that's pretty important. Why is it that when the left tells us about something that we do, that conservatives, Republicans, evangelicals, I don't know, whatever you want to say, that we're always the ist and the obia, and we're the troublemakers, and we're the ones that don't get society. And even when it comes to some of the ills of society and certain things, like we're concerned about specific groups that exist in some countries. I'll just say a country where maybe a virus came from originally. See what I did there? And maybe they're performing genocide on a specific group of people, a religious group of individuals, and maybe it's a problem in the country that I mentioned that has to do with a virus that came from there originally. See where I'm going? That if there was a chance, a possibility that that group that we're concerned about, but we're the ists and the obias and the problem, that let's just say that group were a group that, we're building solar panels. And let's say John Kerry, who is, up front and center now on climate change, and it's all about climate change, and it's all about doing something. Of course, he's got a couple of houses. They're really big, and they've got quite the carbon footprint kind of thing. I'm really not sure about that, but it flies, private. But sometimes he has to fly commercial because it's got to look good, that kind of thing. What if he were to say something like, I don't care if there are people who are making solar panels who are being used as workers, slaves, if you will. As a matter of fact, those individuals they're committing genocide against. I don't care because climate change is that important. Would that outrage you? Would that be outrageous to you? Would that, as someone who believes in and wants to stop climate change, hey, does that kind of, I don't want to say it blows up your narrative. Again, narrative busting here. But if you're telling us that you're on the side of what's right and what's pure and what's honest and what's true, and I care about the planet and you don't care about the planet and what I care about the planet, are people on the planet? Because John Kerry did say something that should not only raise eyebrows, but should have people saying, this whole thing about how far you're willing to go for climate change, could we revisit this? It's outrageous, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Hey, I wanted to ask you this. How many of you, raise your hand unless you're driving 10 and 2, maybe you're not even able to drive because you can't get to a gas station that has any fuel. How many of you in Southwest Florida have had that problem? Jake, have you had the problem yet? We talked about it early this morning. You went and got fuel yesterday. The stations that you went to, no problem. You had.
It was packed out, but I did get gas.
Yeah, I went to a station this morning on my way into work to not top off, but to actually get fuel because otherwise I wouldn't get here, and they had no more left. At the station that I went to, they were completely out. So I had to drive a little further. You know that driving on fumes thing? You ever drive on fumes?
Yeah, all the time, man. Perfect guy for that.
I'll tell you, Jake is the perfect person. And look, we've all been there. So I'm about to tell you something that we can all relate to. Driving your vehicle when it says E and going, I'm going to check out and see how far we can go with this puppy.
I'm sure that my bulbs went out because my light doesn't work anymore.
You just take it, and everybody's done it. Everybody has said, hey, you know what? It hit E, and it was even pegged to the bottom of E, and I got about 10 miles out. That's pretty good. There was I know this is a besides story. And again, if you want to call and tell me your experience here in Southwest Florida as to stations around you, and please don't panic buy. The panic buying, look, it's toilet paper 2020. It's TP 2020. Don't do it. No TP 2020, okay? If you go out and panic buy, that's what we're going to have. Just don't do that. But I know it's hard to do when you're hearing stories on the news about over 70% of Charlotte, North Carolina, being completely out of fuel, and then Atlanta, and the same numbers, and all of these. The Colonial Pipeline back up and running. It's going to take days before they get everything back into service. But pipelines are useless. We should cancel every pipeline. Run everything on rail and cars and boats and drones. And why don't we have Jeff Bezos build a giant Amazon oil rig drone and just drop the barrels right to where they have to be? I don't know, it was a show in Australia. This is the story I'm going for, Jake, before we move on. There was a show in Australia who said, hey, I've always wanted to test this. Let's see how far this car can go once it hits zero, like empty, like the car digitally says no more gas, no more fuel. How far you can even go after that. Guess how far they went? Take a guess.
30 miles.
Higher.
40?
Higher.
100.
Yep. That even after on this certain vehicle, I think it was like an Audi Q5, on this certain vehicle, they were able to go 100 miles after that. And so I think it's safe to say that, look, don't do this at home, okay? Please don't do this. Don't try to test it right now. Now is not the time to test this, kids. Don't do drugs. So I guess the point is that where you think you're at zero and you're panicked and you don't know what to do and the kids are screaming and you don't know what's happening and you're flailing out the window, you're just totally don't panic because you've got a couple of miles after you hit zero. Is that safe to say?
I don't think I could go 100.
But ask Jake. I mean, Jake's the professional. Look that up, though.
I never go past 30.
But watch the video. It's crazy because they go on the highway. They drive on the highway. They drive on this major, and they're just waiting for this thing just to go, just to putter out. And they're like, it's still going. It's still going. It's still. Again, don't test it out right now.
That's bad for your car.
It's bad for your car. Great mechanic information right there.
Thanks, Kevin.
Hold on. Breaking news. That's really good. I don't have my breaking news sounder. I don't have a lot of my sound because the computer kind of did this whole dance today. And now I have some of the stuff that I have on my board, like, my soundboard that I usually use. Yeah, it's changed quite a lot. Like where I usually have my little breaking news sounder, this is what I have there instead.
Fat and sassy.
That's what I have. So, breaking news.
Fat and sassy.
That's all I have. Not kidding. All right. How are we doing with the fuel situation? And like I said, I was not able to get the fuel, but we keep an eye out on that story. Just understand that if it's the Washington Post, it's Republicans seized on the crisis to attack Biden's energy policies and portray him as an agent of chaos amid other challenges. That's the Washington Post, because it's the Republicans' fault. Everything is their fault. But I would ask that question: Is it really Republicans' fault? Have the Democrats made this very conscious decision, along with the President of the United States, that we are going to do policies and we are going to push policies that are going to put us in the situation that we are in? Inflation is here, everybody, and it is rampant. 8.1 million jobs, a record number of jobs right now as we speak, are available, not filled. And yet we have people that are still not willing to go out and work because they're making more money sitting home. It's just a fact. We still have school districts around the country in Democrat states. The numbers I read yesterday, in Democrat states, 18 states to be specific that we know of, 18 states where they voted for Joe Biden, Democrat-led legislatures, they're the states that have kids staying home from school. And those are the states that are causing the problems that we have right now with women not being able to get back into the workforce because they can't leave home. They can't leave those kids at home. It's Democrats that are causing these policies. They're the ones that are making everything the way it is right now. These are government-run issues in politics that are causing all of these problems to come to fruition. And all they have to do is stop. All they have to do is get rid of these stupid policies And I know I said stupid. I'm so sorry. My son's listening. I'm sorry I said stupid. Don't say stupid. All these dumb policies, these ridiculously dumb policies, if they would just let them go, but they won't. And again, here is one of the biggest in this discussion. You might even say it's the pièce de résistance is this. I can't even believe it. So this was yesterday. It's John Kerry. John Kerry yesterday, who was, I guess this was at a subcommittee yesterday as the discussion was taking place about climate change and policies that we have with China, policies that we have in this administration, and some of the things that are going on, including these renewable energies and the talk about solar panels and how important they are. And listen, the opportunities that are missed. Listen, like Jennifer Granholm said yesterday, if you fools would have bought electric cars, you wouldn't have anything to worry about with gas stations running out of fuel. You're the problem, not us. No, you're the problem. So I want you to listen to this exchange. Man, is this important. So listen to this.
Blinken and Pompeo both said that the CCP is committing genocide against the Uyghur Muslim population. Last month, this committee marked up a bill I introduced along with Chairman Meeks condemning this genocide. You recently said that were quoted saying we have other differences on human rights, but those that should not get in the way of something that is critical as dealing with climate.
So he said that if we're going to get solar panels and maybe we have China using individuals that are forced labor and they're committing genocide against the Uyghurs, if we're getting solar panels and we're doing something about climate change, and that's cool, no problem here. That's what during this House Foreign Affairs Committee, Representative McCall of Texas was asking him about this. Like, this is something that you said. Now you have a perfect opportunity to tell us that you didn't. So then he asks the question.
So my question to you is, how can you assure us or ensure that this quest that we're on, that slave labor coming out of China, where genocide is taking place as we speak, are never a part of the climate solution in the United States?
Yeah, what are you doing about this? Slave labor is being used. Genocide is being committed against the Uyghurs there in Xinjiang province in China, where solar panels are being created. Please tell us all here on this committee, and please tell everybody that's listening, please tell us that you're not buying these solar panels and you're not continuing to do this under the guise of climate change is more important than human beings. Please tell us that's not right.
You're absolutely correct. Ranking Member McCall, it is a problem. Xinjiang province not only produces some of the solar panels that we believe are being, in some cases, produced in forced labor by Uyghurs, but also there are a significant amount of rare earth mineral that's used in the solar panels themselves.
I'm speechless. To me, that's shocking. That's a shocking admission. It's shocking, jaw-dropping, confessing that these solar panels made in China from a province where they're using slave labor. And not only that, but to use the rare earth minerals like palladium in order to create these, I guess it's palladium, or it's palladium microchips. But still, he's admitting it. When do you, the enlightened among us, the climate change enlightened, when do you step back and make that choice? What's more important? We're starting to find out more and more what is. Because I don't think John Kerry gives a about people. Ultimately, can't we stop and say, no, we're not going to? We're going to find somebody. Well, nobody else does it, Drew. You don't understand. It's the cost of doing business. Well, guess what? Then it's going to have to be done someplace else because this is not acceptable. And if it costs more money, then you're going to have to figure out how to make it more affordable knowing that we're not using slave labor to create it. That there is some place that we'll go and say, this is the line in the sand, if you will. I know some people who like lines in the sand and understand them well. Well, maybe not everybody does. But that's the point. I mean, it's outrageous. 239-479-5592. Couldn't believe it when I heard it. All right, maybe we'll talk about that with Representative Byron Donalds, who's going to join us at 7:35 this morning. Usually it's 8 o'clock on Thursdays, our 8 o'clock visit, but today it's going to be a little earlier, trying to juggle schedules, and I appreciate him doing that and making some time for us. He's a busy man, and so we'll talk about that. I'm sure we're going to talk about Liz Cheney coming up. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about the GOP. We're going to talk about this very story as well, which I think is an important one. Hey, do you think you know who comprised a majority of Trump's 2020 voters? Well, the numbers are out, and I'll tell you what, you might want to check them out. Be careful what you wish for, Liz Cheney. Yeah, it's a big deal. We'll have that coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. When your liberal relatives from up north come for a month, turn up 92.5 Fox News in the house, in the car, and on the radio at the beach. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Breaking news. The Inventory Overload Savings Event has been extended through Sunday only. Unlike other dealers who are running out of inventory, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral has packed our lots with vehicles. Shop the area's best selection of new Nissan Rogues, Altimas, Titan trucks, Pathfinders, all trims and colors. We're not charging full sticker either. Get our best offers during the Inventory Overload Savings Event through Sunday. Plus, this final week, we'll buy your old car for $500 more than any other written offer. The Inventory Overload Savings Event ends Sunday. Don't miss it. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms, I wonder why they ever call the other firm. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Minutes still matter when it comes to medical emergencies. In some cases, fast care can be life-saving, especially for heart attacks and strokes. So don't delay or be afraid to get help if you need it. Physicians Regional Healthcare System is safe and ready to care for you, with limited entry points, screening for everyone, deep cleaning, and social distancing. We're taking extra precautions to help keep you safe. Don't put off emergency care. Visit ercarephysiciansregional.com or call 911 in an emergency.
I'm Harvey Massey. Think about this for a moment. Pest control involves applying pesticides inside your home, whether needed or not. At Massey Services, we just don't do that. We prevent pests from getting inside your home so we won't have to control them later. Why settle for pest control when you can trust Massey's pest prevention? It's guaranteed or your money back. Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Ever purchased an online item and either it doesn't fit, has missing parts, or became damaged? Trying to save a few bucks can end up costing more. My Shower Door is a locally owned and operated family business that measures, manufactures, and installs our own brand of frameless shower doors right here in Southwest Florida. And we were just named Lee County's Manufacturer of the Year. With almost 80,000 shower doors installed, we have the experience and expertise. Plus, estimates are always free. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdoor.com.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you and your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. It's a fourth day of Israeli airstrikes in Gaza and rocket attacks into Israel by the Palestinian militant group Hamas.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will keep striking Palestinian military targets. Hamas describes the confrontation as open-ended. The violence has reached further into Israel than at any time since 2000. Children have been reported killed on both sides.
Fox's Simon Owen. Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney and other House Republicans are moving on after their vote to remove her from party leadership.
Cheney says she wants to lead the Republican Party back to fundamental conservatism. Top House Republican Kevin McCarthy says the vote to oust Cheney was not about her criticism of former President Trump, but rather Cheney's job as messenger. New York Republican Elise Stefanik is the favorite to replace Cheney. A vote could happen as soon as tomorrow.
Fox's Jared Halpern. America's listening to Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News, traffic.
A crash in Cape Coral at Southwest 32nd Street and Gleason Parkway is slowing traffic northbound. It's less than a quarter mile, but still, if you usually take this route, add on some extra minutes to your commute. There's also a delay eastbound on Beach Parkway towards Agua Linda. Traffic slowing south on Skyline to Veterans. Nice commute, though, on Pine Island Road, commuting between Burnt Store Road all the way to US 41. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. We are still seeing that warm and muggy start with temps in the 70s. This afternoon, though, with a lot of cloud cover, we're going to be limited to the upper 80s to near 90. That's also going to allow for a few spotty showers and thunderstorms to develop, but probably not as widespread as the past few days. Drier air mixes in behind a cold front Friday into Saturday, and the weekend looks beautiful across the entire region. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
There's the left way, and then there's the right way. 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, it's Jake DeMolino here from Daybreak to talk about AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue, a lot of you know about. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission. That was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO of Bonita Springs. 239-992-2626. 239-992-2626.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire with Grace with Bob Grace, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon to get the answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retire with Grace, a Trifound company, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
The Nautical Expo at the Lee County Civic Center, May 15th and 16th, features an utterly amazing powered patented catamaran, the beautifully built Craig Cat. The 11-foot Craig Cat has big boat features like side-by-side seating, a fantastic stereo system, great lighting, bimini top, and many accessories to fit your style of boating. Plus, it's a lot of fun and easy to operate with quality that will knock your socks off. Look for the Craig Cat booths on the right as you walk in. Online at craigcat.com or call 1-833-CRAIG-CAT.
When it comes to weather forecasting here in Southwest Florida, accuracy matters.
Meteorologist Matt Devitt told you when this storm would hit.
Reliability matters.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt is tracking this powerful storm.
Experience matters.
Just had a huge surge come in from the Atlantic.
Trust Matt Devitt.
Bring that umbrella. Look at all the rain.
Wink News Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt. Weeknights on Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Next drink job.
All right, we're in the garage. Let's try this out.
Human Lab is back.
It can transform clear glass into a mirror.
The 411 on DIY tools.
Oh, isn't that satisfying? I would totally use it again.
That could help your next or first project.
We can do this. We got it.
Then, a man who takes animal rescue to new heights. Plus, a spaghetti and cutlet combo.
Oops.
Next, Rachel.
Rachel Ray, this morning at 11 on WXCW.
Hey, this is Papa, reporting that a lady recently complained that she did not like my commercial about the guy spitting chewing tobacco. She said that sound made her sick. I asked her what she thought about my commercial of Bart the Donkey, and she went... Either way, a special thanks to over 4,000 wonderful people who did respond to Papa's wacky commercials and making this past year our biggest, most profitable year in over 30 years. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Kerry, and Cody, we invite you to call Papa for our free tile roof inspection. If we find needed repairs, we'll do our best to make it affordable. Let us show you how we can clean and seal your tile roof, pavers, and pool decks the eco-friendly way, and it's cleaner, safer, and lasts longer. We promise to keep the donkey off your roof. Call me, Papa, for our free tile roof inspection. 945-2700. That's 945-2700. Remember, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7.
License number CCC 1326213.
Kennedy at 3 and Drive Home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News. Now, back to Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Well, everyone's heard about the pipeline hack, and people are actually making it worse by freaking out and panic buying gas. And now thousands of gas stations are out of fuel. See, this probably explains why my Uber driver gave me a piggyback to 30 Rock.
Yeah, it's not funny. It's just not funny right now. What's going on with the pipeline? I guess apparently it's up and running, but it's going to take a little while to get everything back online. And it's interesting how this administration is putting it all out there, not only saying that, listen, if you would have bought an electric vehicle, you'd have no problem right now. And, by the way, we're keeping an eye on it. We're concerned about it. The same administration that canceled the XL pipeline. Forgive me if I'm not really trusting your feelings on all of this. And then, of course, the Republicans' pounce story out of the Washington Post. Biden administration struggles to limit political damage from gas shortage. And then they go on to say Republicans have seized on the crisis to attack Biden's energy policies and portray him as an agent of chaos amid other challenges. I don't know. I might ask Representative Byron Donalds what he thinks about this. Congressman Donalds, of course, joins us every Thursday at 8 o'clock today, shuffling around the schedule for us. And we do appreciate it to get him on at 7:35. And so I might even ask you this. There's another Republicans' pounce story. You see, it's not about what's happening in this administration and their policies. No. It's about you there in Congress. You know, you Republicans, all the bad guys out there. You're the problem. You're just pouncing on this, seizing an opportunity during a crisis. It's laughable.
I mean, I don't even care what the Washington Post writes anymore. It's just ridiculous. Because, you know, the Democrats never seem to pounce on a story. They're just always trying to, you know, bring transparency and hold us accountable. But you know what? It's the liberal press. That's who they are. They're out of the closet, so I just don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Look, Biden's policies suck. They've sucked from day one. Shutting down Keystone never made sense. You know, shutting down border enforcement never made sense. He just didn't want to be Trump. Let's just be very clear.
Yep.
He just said, I don't want to be Donald Trump. I'm not Donald Trump, so I'm going to do just everything Donald Trump doesn't want to do. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And we have seen over the last 10 days now, the United States energy policy, economic policy, and now foreign policy is just starting to burn in front of our eyes. And it's sad, Drew. Actually, it's really sad to witness this.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. And, a couple of items that I do want to target. Number one would be, you brought it up, the border issues. You've been there. You know about what's happening there personally. We hear about the number of unaccompanied migrant children now up to an all-time high. What is it like? It's over 20,000, isn't it? I mean, it's getting it's just because people aren't talking about it doesn't mean it's gone away. It's getting worse.
No, it's worse than that, because the numbers they report are the kids that they catch, considering that the kids are just walking up to border agents. They're not running from the border agents, Drew. This is important for people to understand. They're walking up to the border agents on purpose. This is what the cartels are telling them to do. And so the cartels are making, at this point, they're probably making $20 million a day trafficking children, not to mention what's happening to little girls south of the border in this trafficking process. Because I'm quite sure that some of them are not ending up on our southern border. Some of them are being sold into sex slavery, which is just a human tragedy. And this administration, their whole talking point is, well, we want to focus on the triggers. Let's focus on what's happening in these other countries that push immigration. No, that's not our problem. That's those countries' problems. Yeah. Our job is to secure our border. Let's do that. But again, this administration just says, well, we're not the previous administration. And they go as far to say, well, the previous administration left us so many problems. We didn't have an unaccompanied minor problem in the last administration. It's in this one because this president decided that he just wants to basically terminate all the enforcement measures that President Trump put into place.
Yeah. You've brought this up before, and I think this is important to mention that John Kerry back in the news again. I know how you've been concerned about, and many people have been concerned about, oversight on his dealings with the Iranian regime and some other things that are going on, and national security. But, there was this story that came out yesterday where during a House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing, he's questioned about whether or not solar panels and some of the materials in those solar panels, that because of climate change, we've got to have those solar panels, but yet in ensuring that the U.S. has some kind of climate change strategy, he was asked, listen, we want to make sure that we're not using them from forced labor in specific places, and can you tell us that's not happening? And if it is, would you admit to that? And he said, yes, it is happening. They are buying it from places where there is forced labor that's happening in the marketplace. It's with the Uyghurs. It's happening with the materials, and they're admitting it. And the U.S. policy is what he's saying is that their climate strategy is all about still purchasing from China in these regions. But it's all about climate change, Congressman. That's what it is. I mean, we've just got to do something. So you can't even put human beings in front of the climate issue. Just another reason I'm giving you to do something there and keep oversight on this individual. And he just has to go.
John Kerry should have been gone years ago. Frankly, when George W. Bush beat him back in 2004, that should have been the end of John Kerry. But this place, when it comes to liberal Democrats, they just stay, and they always come back in some future iteration.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Drew, what can I say? Elections have consequences, because this is the type of idiocy you get from the left.
Yeah.
Yes, solar panels, by the way, a bunch of them are made in China. Yes, the Uyghurs are making them under slave conditions. I know the Democrats love to talk about, our past, but they don't want to talk about China's present. And yes, there are slave conditions in China, but it's okay to do business with them. Yet it's not okay for Major League Baseball to play its All-Star game in Atlanta. This is the utter hypocrisy that comes from them. But here's the bigger point, what nobody's talking about. when you make a solar panel, the carbon footprint on making a solar panel is bigger than the actual lifespan of the solar panel when it comes to carbon emissions. Just like the carbon emissions to make one fan blade for these windmills is bigger than the carbon footprint that is saved from these windmills.
Yeah.
And this is the idiocy that comes from the left.
All right, and that's why it's so hard for you, right? It's so hard for you because that's what you're fighting against. You're fighting against idiocy, where you have people in the media and still on the left that are like, yeah, we have no problem with this. It's almost like they admit the idiocy. They admit that they are. Well, you hate to say that, but still, if they're buying into it, then they're forcing the American people to make a choice based on lies. So yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to another issue.
You're right.
Yeah,
That's what's happening. Yeah.
Yes. But I'm obviously, Congressman Donalds, I'm always, I bring this up to you, but also that everybody who's listening understands that he knows this true, and he's there fighting with people that he has GOP colleagues who get it as well. And that's the important issue that I'm constantly bringing up, is to make sure that we are electing people that will go to D.C. that understand all of this. And so we always appreciate you, certainly, for that. You know, I got to ask the question. Here we go. A lot of people talking about Liz Cheney. And, you know, here she is, which I brought up a little earlier. I'm fascinated by 435 individuals, and this is the one that speaks for the party. I didn't know that. When did everybody sign up for that? When did we all sign up for Liz Cheney being the spokesperson for the party, end all, be all, full stop?
I didn't. I mean, look, Liz should have been gone a couple months ago. You know, I voted to get rid of her a couple months ago, but the conference didn't go that way. You know, this is okay. That's what happens. Yesterday's vote was pretty quick. But the thing that most people don't know is that, you know, after the vote and Liz was removed, you know, she walked down the middle aisle of the room, you know, shook a couple hands and then walked out the room. And I'm sitting in the back next to Nicole Malliotakis from Staten Island, New York, and we're looking at this. And I said, Nicole, she literally is leaving the room to go talk to the media. Watch, look what she's doing.
Yep.
And she sure did, because the second we adjourned, which was a couple minutes after the vote ended, she's outside in the full gaggle talking to every press, you know, company and frankly the world, because they're all enamored with this story. Because, you know, inflation, that's no big deal. You know, immigration, it's not really happening. They have it under control. You know, energy, you know, gas lines, not a big story. Liz Cheney not being conference chair anymore. This is the story that shapes America. Yeah. And it's nonsense. So, you know, then you had Adam Kinzinger doing the whole press gaggle right after her. And I'm just, you know, as a Republican in the conference, yesterday was indicative of why Liz is no longer conference chair. Because, yes, you were removed. You were removed because she was just being a distraction. And then the first thing she does, the second she's removed, is goes and talks to the liberal press. Yeah. And you saw right there, inside of 5 minutes, why she's no longer conference chair. And that's why we have bigger fish to fry than just, you know, her issues with President Trump and the fact that she continues to go back and forth with him. Because you just talked about it, Drew, all the issues we're facing as a nation. But the media loves to be captivated by, frankly, Liz Cheney and January 6th. Yeah. That's what the media wants to be captivated about. As far as they're concerned, nothing else is happening in America. Everything else is good.
Yeah. And look, a lot of people I talk to, the first reaction is Liz Cheney is not bringing the party together. This doesn't unify anybody. What she should be doing is she should be going after, like everybody else is, the horrible politics, the ideology of the left right now that is in control, that is ready in just a snap of a finger to destroy everything we know, where we're not going to be able to turn around and get it back. It's not necessarily some of the things that another election is going to solve it. Once the tentacles of government are there, and once the incentives are there, then people are always going to want it. So how do you get rid of it? You've got to make sure it doesn't happen to begin with. And here's Liz Cheney, who's there making the Trump argument when people are like, hey, how about the other side? Go after the other side. And she doesn't do that. And that's a big part of the frustration, especially considering that you're dismissing 74 million people, whether you believe it or not. And then, you know, you have to decide. It's not even about, I said this before, and it's not even like this. It's not whose party is it, because it's nobody's party specifically, right? So it's not even that. But it is really, if Liz Cheney is trying to make a point, she's doing one of two things. Either she believes that politically, if she stays where she is, there's a lane for her and for the Kinsingers and the Romneys and others who want to get status quo back. Or it's like, listen, I got books coming up and I got media coming up. And that's what it is. And I don't care about the rest. And I'm ready to, I'm ready to torch the place on the way out, which neither one of those two are good choices here.
I totally agree. But, Drew, I'm gonna switch gears for you because the thing that nobody reported, which is big, is we had a hearing yesterday in oversight. And in oversight yesterday, they wanted to talk about and do an autopsy of January 6th and all the causes. And this is basically the Dems committee to bash President Trump, to make more news about bashing President Trump.
Yep.
But here's what happened in this committee. You had the acting head of the Department of Defense, the acting attorney general, and the head of the Metro Police Department, D.C. Metro Police Department in committee. What came out in opening statements was that on December 30th, Marilyn Bowser requested National Guard troops. On January 3rd, in a meeting with the president, the acting head of DOD brought up actually did not bring it up. President Trump brought up the fact, asking, did Marilyn Bowser request troops, National Guard troops, for January 5th and 6th? And he asked DOD. DOD said, yes, they made the request. And President Trump said, give her whatever she needs, period, point blank. Then on January 5th, after one of the day rallies, they had another phone call, and the president called the head of DOD and said, did you see the rally on the 5th? DOD says yes. The president says, hey, we're going to need National Guard troops to make sure everybody is protected. The orders went through for the National Guard to be there. On January 5th, Marilyn Bowser sent a letter saying, we don't need any assistance. We got it. And the last thing I'll tell you, Drew, is Capitol Police was not allowed to be at this hearing. We as Republicans, we wanted Capitol Police to testify because, they're the group that protects the Capitol. We wanted them to testify. The Democrats said they are not allowed to testify in this hearing. So while the media wants to run around with body cam footage of the one officer from January 6th, I saw Don Lemon's show last night, and they want to continue. They want to make January 6th the equivalent of 9/11, which to me is just insane.
Outrageous.
It's outrageous and it's insane. But let's be very clear. What they're trying to do and continue to do is that President Trump did not care, incited it, and was asleep at the wheel. That is not true. The fact of the matter is that the President of the United States not only authorized, but wanted to make sure that there were National Guard troops on the ground. We know Marilyn Bowser said, no, we don't need them after she first requested them. And the second thing we still don't know is what did Nancy Pelosi know and when did she know it?
That's huge.
Now, that's real news.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. No doubt about it. All right, Congressman Byron Donalds, I appreciate you making time for us today. Obviously, our Thursday visit, so I'm glad we had a chance to. And, oh, by the way, coming up in just a few minutes, and you might want to hear this out, guess who comprised the majority of Trump's 2020 voters? Well, you want to bust some narratives. I've got some data. They ran through the numbers. It may surprise. And, again, it goes back to what we talked about. So that's going to be coming up in a few minutes. All right, Congressman, I appreciate you. All the best. We'll see you soon.
See you, Drew.
239-479-5592. Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you're in a PhD. Caller 5 if you want to play right now. Love to have you join us. And you'll win. You'll play. 239-479-5592. Drew's College up next on Daybreak 92.5. Fox News right all along. DrewSteele.com, by the way, the website. Steele has 3 E's if you want to watch the program. There's Sabrina Katz with traffic.
There's a crash on the Midpoint Bridge this morning as you are heading out of the Cape into Fort Myers. It is backed up. Adding to that congestion, really avoid this area. The best thing you can do is stick to the Cape Coral Bridge, or you could even head through North Fort Myers and take one of the North Fort Myers bridges into downtown. Now, there is a crash in the Cape as well at Southwest 32nd Street and Gleason Parkway, slowing traffic northbound on Southwest 32nd. If you're heading this way, to avoid it, stick to Surfside. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. Warm and muggy to start off your day, but clouds will actually limit our temperatures from warming this afternoon. Most of you in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Still going to see a few showers and storms, mainly inland across the area this afternoon, but drier and mixes in as we head into the weekend. And hey, it'll be a nice change from what we've seen lately. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
When it comes to weather forecasting here in Southwest Florida, accuracy matters.
Meteorologist Matt Devitt told you when this storm would hit.
Reliability matters.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt is tracking this powerful storm.
Experience matters.
Just had a huge surge come in from the Atlantic.
Trust Matt Devitt.
Bring that umbrella. Look at all the rain.
Wink News Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt. Weeknights on Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Next, Rachel.
All right, we're in the garage. Let's try this out.
Human Lab is back.
It can transform clear glass into a mirror.
The 411 on DIY tools.
Oh, isn't that satisfying? I would totally use it again.
That could help your next or first project.
We can do this. We got it.
Then, a man who takes animal rescue to new heights. Plus, a spaghetti and cutlet combo. Next, Rachel.
Rachel Ray, this morning at 11 on WXCW.
Hey, it's Drew Steele, and we've got my friend Dave Meister, owner of the Floor Meisters in Naples, on the phone. And Dave, I got to tell you, the selection of floor coverings of Floor Meisters, unbelievable, fantastic. I've seen it myself, and the choices are there. But what we really want to talk about today is this Dreamweaver line of carpets. Talk about it.
I'll tell you what, Drew, this is the hottest thing since 5-buckle overshoes. We're just selling the heck out of it. Comes in 9 different patterns, 12 colors to a pattern. It has 8 warranties, and it even includes steps. The stain warranty will take care of wine, mud, and even pet accidents. So this is perfect for Jake.
Yeah, perfect for Jake, and perfect for me, and perfect for you, too. If you haven't been to the Floor Meisters, really owe it to yourself to visit their store, see their selection of Dreamweaver carpets. It's there at 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco. And whether it's carpet, tile, laminate, or hardwood flooring, they have it all. So give them a call today at 239-596-4964 or on the web at floormeisters.com.
Drew's College of Political Knowledge is presented by France Eye Care. Better vision, better life.
Attention, class. It's time for Drew's College of Political Knowledge.
It's Drew's College.
All right. Let's go to Ted. Ted's in beautiful Naples. How do I know? Because it says it's Ted from Naples. Hey, Ted.
Good morning, Drew.
Good morning. It's Drew's College of Political Knowledge. 4 questions on politics. The more you get right, the higher the degree. We'll see if you're in a PhD. Your associate's degree question starts right now. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Hey, can you name the 2 senators here that represent our great state of Florida? Our 2 senators.
Rick Scott and Marco Rubio.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got an associate's to see if you get a bachelor's. Woohoo! A bachelor's degree on this question. The 2 parts of the United States Congress are...
the House of Representatives and the Senate.
That's correct, sir. All right, you got a bachelor's degree. We'll see if you get a master's degree on this very question. Jimmy Carter was the 39th president of the United States. Who was the 40th?
One of the best, Ronald Reagan.
That is correct, sir. All right, you got a master's degree. We'll see if you get a PhD on this question. It's kind of political. May or may not be tricky, and just something different. Remember Bill Clinton, former president of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's not the question. The question is, he famously played an instrument. You remember which one it was?
Not the cigar, the saxophone.
The saxophone is correct, sir.
All right.
Yeah, who's there with you, sir?
I have my 2 boys with me who are excited to say good morning.
Yeah.
Say good morning.
Good morning. They're giggling in the background, too. Okay. All right, Ted, hey, listen, congratulations, and to you boys as well, because you do good work Googling. Helping your dad. Your dad's brilliant. He's just brilliant. He got a master's degree. Did he get a PhD? He got a PhD. You got them all right, didn't you? Yes, he did. All right. So,
yeah.
So you boys should be proud. A PhD for your dad. That's good, right? Say yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't sound very enthused. Sorry for you, Ted. All right. Have a good day, my friend. We appreciate it.
This is Daybreak.
92.5 Fox News.
Manufactured in the USA, Plantation Shutters for You is the best choice for plantation shutters. Custom measured and installed just for you. Built to last forever. They will not be undersold. Start with a free consultation. PlantationShuttersForYou.com. And God bless everyone.
Injuries on the job can cause you to lose control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar Levine. Money is not coming in and your medical bills are piling up. Our legal team is here to help. We can help you file all your workers' compensation claims to make sure you get the proper benefits you're entitled to. If you've been injured on the job, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Naples.
We believe in better. A better way to invest, a better way to serve you, and a better result. We can help you determine how much risk you're taking, red flags that could be potential problems for you, how much you're paying in fees or commissions, potential tax liability, or even how to address Social Security.
Tune into WealthWorks Radio with Eric Carney, Saturdays at 6 a.m., Sundays at 9 a.m., right here on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
It's up and running, but not back to normal. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After Colonial Pipeline got gasoline flowing again after being shut down by last week's cyber attack, the Energy Secretary said this morning it might take a couple of days. President Biden has eased restrictions to increase fuel deliveries, including
the United States military providing fuel and with vehicles to get it there where places where it's badly needed.
A lot of gas stations in the Southeast are on E. Fox's Evan Brown has the latest live.
Yeah, Dave, 7 out of 10 gas stations in North Carolina were out of fuel Wednesday night.
I had a friend who waited 3 hours to get gas the other day. Yeah,
she's in Charlotte, where the city's bus service started offering free rides to encourage fewer people from filling up their own cars. Nearly half of all stations were out in South Carolina, in Georgia, and in Virginia. Some of the blame is being put on people reportedly stocking up on fuel out of panic, with officials stressing that stocking up isn't necessary, Dave.
Eben, kids will be rolling up their sleeves across the country now that the CDC's joined the FDA, approving Pfizer's COVID vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds.
Panel member Dr. Henry Bernstein said after the vote that the benefits outweigh the risks.
It'll contribute to community immunity, and it allowed the kids to more safely go back to camps this summer and back to in-person school.
During the public comment period, many urged the panel to vote no, saying more study is needed to better understand the effects of the vaccine on this age range.
That's Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Israelis and Palestinians keep barraging each other with airstrikes and rockets as Israel puts more troops at the Gaza border, and all that's causing this.
We are in Lod in central Israel. This is a city in the middle of the country, and there has been rioting night by night. There have been mobs going through here. Synagogues have been burned. Arabs have told me that they have been hunted down by angry Jewish mobs.
Fox's Amy Kellogg. More than 80 Palestinians have been killed since Monday, and 7 Israelis are dead. America's listening to Fox News.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Wink News, traffic.
There's a crash on the Midpoint Bridge this morning as you are heading out of the Cape into Fort Myers. It is backed up. Adding to that congestion, really avoid this area. The best thing you can do is stick to the Cape Coral Bridge, or you could even head through North Fort Myers and take one of the North Fort Myers bridges into downtown. Now, there is a crash in the Cape as well at Southwest 32nd Street and Gleason Parkway, slowing traffic northbound on Southwest 32nd. If you're heading this way, to avoid it, stick to Surfside. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. We are still seeing that warm and muggy start with temps in the 70s. This afternoon, though, with a lot of cloud cover, we're going to be limited to the upper 80s to near 90. That's also going to allow for a few spotty showers and thunderstorms to develop, but probably not as widespread as the past few days. Drier air mixes in behind a cold front Friday into Saturday, and the weekend looks beautiful across the entire region. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Tougher than plastic, harder than wood. Nothing beats the power of steel. True steel. Weekday mornings at 6 on 92.5 Fox News.
Everyone understands that when you buy more, you should pay less. It's called a volume discount. Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window, and we would like to make and install your windows. New South offers volume discounts for homeowners. The more you buy, the more you save. Our discounts start at the fourth window, and from there, the savings grow. New South can do this because we own our factory, and that's the power of Factory Direct. Award-winning, energy-efficient windows that will save you money and protect your home. Our windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers, and we guarantee them for life. Visit us at newsouthwindow.com.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach, and today I want to share my thoughts on what it means to be a Republican. Republicans believe in limiting the power of government and expanding individual freedom. Democrats want to expand government because they believe that government bureaucrats know what's best for you and your family. The expansion of government into every sphere of our personal lives would disgust our founding fathers. From crushing taxes and gun control at the federal level to the tyranny of local governments with their mask mandates, revisionist history, and sexual indoctrination of our school children, government has truly gone wild. And I'm not going to sit back and take it. I'm going to fight back, and I hope you'll join me. This is Spencer Roach, and I'm proud to be a Republican because I believe that faith and family are the center of American life, not government. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and never forget that this is your government and we work for you. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, P.O. Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida, 33918.
Shallow Sport and Yamaha Motors, the industry leaders, are both on display at Naples Marina. Come experience Shallow Sport powered by Yamaha only at Naples Marina, a winning combination. Naples Marina, Shallow Sport, and Yamaha Power.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myShowerDoor.com.
Florida voters overwhelmingly passed a constitutional amendment to do one simple thing: require that any expansion of gambling be approved by the voters, not the politicians, not the lobbyists. It's called voter control of gambling, and it's the law. But gambling lobbyists want politicians to break it. They've hatched a plan to expand gambling without your approval. More casinos, legalized sports betting, even slot machines on cell phones, just like the strip mall casinos that called themselves internet cafes. All over again, and all cooked up by Tallahassee lobbyists. It would be the biggest expansion of gambling in Florida history without the biggest thing required by Florida's Constitution: your approval. Voter control of gambling isn't a suggestion. It's the law. Tell your legislator, don't break it. Sponsored by No Casinos.
Nothing runs like a... I need something I can depend on. I need a Kubota.
At Florida Coast Equipment, we have equipment you can depend on. We have the best deals in town for Kubota tractors, mowers, utility vehicles, and Kubota construction equipment. Our family has been Florida's premier Kubota dealership for over 30 years. Whether you're buying, renting, or simply need your Kubota service, come on over to Florida Coast Equipment in Naples. Equipment you can depend on at a price you'll love. Florida Coast Equipment, we've got you covered.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. Steele has 3 E's. It's mobile friendly. I set it up that way so that you can watch on your phone, you can watch on your smart device, your tablet, and also on the computer. And if you go to Facebook, at Drew Steele Radio, we are still there. All right, coming up, I promised it. I will tell you, I promise I will tell you that the numbers are in. And this may be a little bit of narrative busting, so there's a clue. Guess who comprised the majority of Trump's 2020 voters? Listen, when you hear the things that Liz Cheney's been talking about, you might want to reconsider where you're trying to make the party go, considering where the numbers are now. It took a while. They've gone through the numbers. Man, they are interesting. We're going to have that coming up. But first, I had to bring this up because so many people not only that I talk to off the air, that I know, that I see your emails and your texts. But many people in my neighborhood, concerned parents, have really been talking to me about some of the things that the districts are doing here in Southwest Florida, Lee County in particular, and some of what's going down. And look, the one thing that everybody has to recognize is that it's going to take you and your action and you speaking out and you calling and emailing and showing up at school board meetings before any of the things that we talk about change. If you don't show that you want things to change, then it's going to be business as usual. And they're banking on it. Just remember something. These districts across Southwest Florida, across the country, look, they're banking on you just saying, I'm too busy. Or, hey, there's something else in the news that's catching my attention. They're banking on it. And so even when it comes to mask mandates, how concerned are you that the kids are spending so much time with these masks on in schools, and whether or not that's something that we have to revisit? Well, it was something that was discussed at the school board meeting in Lee County, the issue of mandates. And I wanted to bring on Tara Jenner. She is a friend. She's a recovering lawyer, as she likes to describe herself, and a concerned parent here in Lee County, and has been following the mask mandate issue because a couple of things got brought up at the meeting, and I think we have to address this. And Tara, I'm glad to have you here. You all right this morning?
I am glad to be here, and this is a labor of love because I'm a night owl, so it took me a lot to get up this morning.
Well, and thank you for that. I know you are, so I appreciate it.
No worries.
All right. So,
and I'd like to mention that although my last name is Jenner, I'm not related to the athlete formerly known as
gotcha. Okay, so I'm so glad you brought that to our attention. Okay, that's fine, Tara. Okay, we got it. Hold on a second. Give her go ahead. Give it to her. All right. You got it. Okay. All right, here we go. What's going on right now? Because I'm hearing too many things from concerned parents saying, wait, this issue of mask mandates in school, the district's saying one thing, board attorneys are saying one thing, superintendents are saying one thing, but legally, I'm hearing something else. Go through the details.
Well, one of the things that I like to do is I like to actually use the school district's policy against them in order to hang them with their own stuff. And as much as I don't like their policy, which is policy 1.181 for anyone who wants to go search it on their website, which is leeschools.net, and it's entitled Emergency Requirement for Protective Gear. And the problem with this particular policy is it talks about the fact that personal protective equipment shall expire as soon as any one of three healthcare entities specified it was no longer recommended or required. It didn't require all three of them to agree. Any one would be sufficient. And one of the agencies listed was the Florida State Department of Health. And back on April 29th, the Surgeon General, in a public health advisory, stated that COVID-19 restrictions of individuals, including long-term use of face covering and withdrawal from social and recreational gatherings, pose a risk of adverse and unintended consequences. He also rescinded 4 previous COVID-19 public health advisories, and with the advent of all the vaccines, whether you agree with them or not, he did address that. The risk is not there anymore. And given the fact that that is one of the criteria that the school district used, and they said, hey, if any of these things come up, this particular policy for protective gear shall expire. My take on this is they don't need to do a board vote. They don't need to have a meeting. They don't need to have public comment. We don't need the superintendent making a recommendation. It's an automatic expiration of the mandatory mask, effective April 29th. So these kids, in my estimation, have been wearing their masks over 2 weeks longer than they needed to. And we pushed this issue last Tuesday at the school district. They wanted us in no masks outside, whether it was because you didn't want to wear a mask for liberty reasons or for healthcare reasons. They wanted us to wait outside while they let all the people with masks wait inside, which is completely discriminatory. We pushed in. There were about 25. We, I think, got up to about 40 people. and we challenged them on it. We were all threatened with being arrested and trespassed for violating their policies. And we attempted and successfully spoke with the people that were there that were in security and said to them that we were actually the ones following the policy. The school district wasn't. And we presented the Surgeon General's advisory, a copy of their board policy, highlighted with an explanation as to why the policy should be immediately expiring retroactively to April 29th. They brought it to the board attorney behind closed doors, and they let us in the main auditorium without masks. And not once during the meeting did they ever use or say or comment that our interpretation on our presentation that the expiration had already occurred. They never said that we were wrong in our interpretation of that. Our presence there basically proved that. In fact, they doubled down on something that Dr. Atkins had said on Monday this week, that the reason that they were going to continue the mask mandate through the 30th of June was because of an MOU that they had drafted and negotiated with TALC and SPALC.
Okay, now explain to everybody so they know. What is MOU? What's TALC?
An MOU is it's a memorandum of understanding that they negotiated prior to the school year in order to be able to reassure the teachers that they would be going back into a safe environment in light of the concerns of COVID. And TALC and SPALC are the teachers' unions.
Okay.
So the problem is the parents and the students and the general taxpayer public in Fort Myers and Lee County in general, we're not a party to that agreement. So that agreement isn't binding on us.
Right. So.
And they're trying to say we're stuck because of that agreement.
Okay. So, because I'm trying to get this part of it right as well, Tara, and it has to do with the MOU and TALC. So the MOU, as you described it, as it's laid out, I guess, so if I'm understanding this correctly, the board attorney and the superintendent made the claim that that because of what was negotiated with TALC, that they make the decisions, they're the ones that bind, and if they say that the mask mandates have to be in place, then they're just following their rules. But they themselves, TALC, I guess, said no, we're not binding it. It's not our decision. It's quite the opposite. Am I getting this right?
Well, not only did they say that, but Kevin Daly, who's the president of TALC, specifically contacted a number of individuals, and I've received copies of those, and I've left messages with him. He specifically said that the agreement between the district and TALC has absolutely no governing authority over students or parents because we weren't party to the agreement. We don't have standing. They don't have standing over us either. But more importantly, I got a copy of the actual agreement itself, and I read through it. And there is a provision in there, as there should have been, that stated that if there were changes in circumstances, specifically healthcare related, Department of Health, so on and so forth, they will go back and discuss the contents and application of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding. The district, to my understanding, especially based on the conversations that I heard Tuesday during the board discussions, Dr. Atkins, our superintendent, Dr. Pruitt, who's on the short list, by the way, to be potentially considered as the interim superintendent who negotiated this agreement, and the board attorney didn't question the board attorney when she said, we can't break the contract. There's a difference, by the way, between a memorandum of understanding and a contract, but it wouldn't be breaking the contract when there are provisions within that MOU that specifically say they have an obligation to meet to update things based on change in circumstance.
Right.
And from what I can tell, they haven't made the effort to do that.
So all right.
My reading.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
I was going to say my reading on it is the students, the parents, and the general public are right now not mask mandatory. They are mask optional. I mean, if you want to wear a mask because of medical reasons of your own or concerns
or your
or
choice,
family members, or your choice or whatever, knock your socks off, do it. But those that don't want or can't shouldn't be forced to do so.
So legally, looking at this as a recovering lawyer, Tara, what you're saying is judging by all the paperwork, judging by the expiration there of 1.181 and through April 29th because of the Surgeon General and their health advisory issue, that right now, as we speak, if what you're suggesting is that if you did not show up with a mask, there's no reason, you're not violating anything because
That's
it's expired.
My interpretation, with the exception of one thing. If you are a district staff employee, you are still bound by the memorandum of understanding.
Right, but we're talking about the kids right now.
Right, but the district needs to go back, and they have an affirmative obligation to go back and address the modified circumstances, because I want the teachers to be able to be unmasked as well.
Right.
Like you said earlier, even if it's just one day. But my personal opinion is, pursuant to that board policy 1.181 and the Florida Department of Health advisory, the district needs to acknowledge and contact every parent and let them know that effective April 29th, the mask mandate ended and masks are now optional.
All right. So, Tara, let me ask you these two questions because we're running up on time, and I want to ask you these two things. Okay. First thing is this. You know what everybody's asking. You know what they're asking you and they're asking me, and it's this. Why are they doing this? Why is the board, why are the why do they continue to do this? What is it? Is it this feeling of there's some kind of legal obligation? Because you're describing, the way you're describing this, there isn't. So why do they continue to have this policy in place?
This is my personal opinion, and it's not a legal opinion. My personal opinion is they want to distract us and keep us focused on this so that we don't have time and energy to focus on what's going down with hiring a new board superintendent, and because they don't want us focusing on the fact that they just accepted over $200,000 free money for a grant to push specific agenda, which is financed by individuals who tend to be supportive of the critical race theory, and they're trying to get that in the back door, and they're trying to distract us from the LGBTQ issue, and they're trying to make us have too many things to be looking at, and this is just one more thing that they're trying to push in order to distract us from some things that are even more important.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of bad things. Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
right.
About critical race theory.
And the last thing is I'm hearing what's going on down in Collier County.
Yep.
They had a meeting on Tuesday as well, and after a vast majority of the people left, they had an hour briefing on mandatory vaccinations. The mask is just, let's see how far we can push this and see how compliant people will be. And then the next thing will be mandatory COVID vaccinations, which if anyone who follows, I know she's your friend too, Chris Ann Hall, she has actually set up an organization that will help write exemption letters because the vaccine is still experimental in nature.
All right. So this.
And there's United States code on that too.
Yeah. So this continues. And then obviously, what do we do next? How do we, what's your recommendation as you see this, knowing full well all this, the school board policy, the expiration on this, the fact that as of right now, they should make a statement and say mask optional for students. This should be.
I think and it's a statement. It's not a decision because the decision isn't theirs. It's an automatic.
Yeah, that's already made, right? In your legal
done.
opinion, it's already made. So it's just about them coming out and saying this to move on with this.
Yeah, I can't give a legal recommendation to anybody to counteract what they're doing in the schools because there are potential consequences. I think they would win any allegations that are raised against anybody who goes without a mask, but I wouldn't want to see a child not be able to walk graduation or face other consequences in the interim. That would be a personal decision that needs to be made by each family member. But personally, I think we need to have people showing up at each and every school board meeting, whether it is an action meeting or whether it's a workshop, even though we're not allowed to speak at those. I think we need to be writing letters to the school district. I think we need to be blowing up their emails. And if you feel so inclined to send your child without a mask, and they are confident enough to be able to stand up against that on their own, those are all options as well. Like you, I home educate my child. I probably would have anyway. But as a taxpayer, this is an important issue. We need to let the board know, the board attorney, the superintendent, and potential future superintendents know they work for us.
Yeah.
They are our employees.
Yeah, no, you and I both are on the same page. Listen, as we homeschool,
Right.
people say, well, why do you care? You're a homeschool. Because number one, it's my taxes. Well, that's not even the number one reason. But number two, I also have my child who is living in a neighborhood right now where there are kids who are being indoctrinated into schools in all kinds of different ways and saying and doing things that are very adverse to what I'm teaching my child. And so I don't like seeing it. I don't like seeing this happen to my friends' kids and people who are coming to me and saying, I don't know what to do because I don't agree with this and I feel helpless. You make it sound as if all the parents and every single one across the board, 100%, all agree with the policies and all agree with everything that's going on. And dare I tell you that it's quite the opposite. That they are upset, but they don't know what to do. They feel helpless. There's plenty that they can do. Most of it has to do with elections, and they have consequences. But the other side is you have to have your voice heard. All right, we've got.
You mentioned that there are 4 people coming up for re-election.
Yep.
And with the exception of Gwen Gittens, who was responsive to our concerns at the last board meeting, and I spoke with her afterwards. The other 3've got to go.
Well, I'll tell you, Tara, the other thing, too, is the issue of superintendent. And, man, that's got to be an elected position. We can't have people deciding. And it can't be – and it's got to be somebody from the outside. You can't bring somebody from the inside. Sorry, it's just that we've already been down that road. Can't do it. It's got to be somebody with a fresh perspective on what's going on. You can't bring friends or other people that have been there in the past.
Right. Well, if you go to leeschools.net on the front home page on the bottom right-hand side, there is an advert not an advert, but a website page that Gwen Gittens actually helped instrumentally create that talks about what that superintendent position is going to be. Share it with your friends. Get it out to people nationwide. We're Southwest Florida. We got great weather. We've got no state income tax. And probably since Ronald Reagan, we've got the best governor in the nation. This is a selling point. We should be able to get the creme de la creme as a superintendent to come in here without having to beg them and without having to have this internal nepotism and politicking that we've had.
You're right.
And we need to be really careful. This needs to be done for the interim superintendent because the minute they are sworn in, that interim term disappears. They become superintendent. And as we've seen in the past with Dr. Atkins, who was the interim superintendent, they just slid him right into the regular position without any national search or anything because, he knows the system and we've worked well with him for the last X number of months as interim, and that's what they're going to try and do again. Yeah. So we need to get this to be a national search, share that information, share that link, get the word out. We've got a great location here, both in the area as well as in Florida.
Yep.
We've got so much going for us. We should be able to cherry pick who we want as superintendent who works for the people.
All right, Tara, we've got to run. I appreciate it.
Excellent.
Thanks for doing the work. Keep it up.
My pleasure.
All right. See you
Have
soon.
a great day.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye. Stay break. 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. Of course, drewsteele.com, the website, if you want to watch. And you certainly can go back to the website, too, if you want to revisit any of the programs we have. You can do that as well. Stay break, 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News. The antidote to the anti-conservatives. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hello, I'm a unicorn. Yes, one of those. Everyone's trying to find me, but most can't, unless they're ZipRecruiter. If you've hired before, you understand it's quite hard to find a unicorn. You know, someone who's perfect for your role. So how does ZipRecruiter do it so quickly? ZipRecruiter's technology matches your job up with the right people for your role and invites them to apply, so you get brilliant candidates fast.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
When was the last time you checked in on your insurance? Give CIG a chance to review your current coverage and find you better rates. Hi, this is Brian Chapman at Chapman Insurance Group. My team and I are dedicated to finding you the best suited coverage at the best rates. Give us an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. I'm confident we can save you money for the same or better coverage. Qualified agents are standing by. Visit CIGFlorida.com or call an office near you today. Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. CIGFlorida.com.
People sometimes may wonder why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine you're on your way to work and then, bam, your whole life changes. You're injured and now you have to fight for justice. Your opponent is not the driver of the car that hit you. It's their insurance company. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
I'm Harvey Massey. At Massey Services, we know every lawn is unique and requires customized care. That's why our environmental approach includes aeration, which allows water and nutrients to reach the roots of your lawn, as well as an irrigation program, which ensures proper coverage and reduces water waste. With Massey's Green Up program, you'll enjoy a healthy and a beautiful lawn year-round. That's Massey Services. Expect more and get it.
Are you looking for more than just another job at an HVAC, plumbing, and electric company? Come explore your new career opportunities with Florida Cool today at their open house on Saturday, May 15th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They have been serving our community for over 60 years, delivering the best while offering their employees competitive incentives and continued education. They are hiring HVAC techs, plumbers, and electricians. Saturday, May 15th. Visit us at 1161 Sun Century Road, right off of 41 Naples.
Shallow Sport and Yamaha Motors, the industry leaders, are both on display at Naples Marina. Come experience Shallow Sport powered by Yamaha only at Naples Marina, a winning combination. Naples Marina, Shallow Sport, and Yamaha Power.
Chevy sales desk, Marty.
Hey there, Melvin.
It's Marty.
You know Victory Lane?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, Murray.
No, Marty.
Okay, Mario.
Marty!
Memorial Day is a great holiday to celebrate heroes and Chevys at Victory Lane.
I don't like parties, all right?
Well, Victory Lane's going all out with 0 down on new Silverados, just $375 a month, or new Chevy Bolt, just $349 a month. 0 down.
No money down? Oh, boy.
That's right, Margaret.
It's Marty. Why can't you remember my name?
Well, can you blame me? I'm trying to forget your ridiculously high prices. Save thousands during the Memorial Day sale at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Save with 0 down on new Silverados, just $375 a month, or new Chevy Bolt, just $349 a month with 0 down. Plus max for your trade and our goal 100% credit approval. Victory Lane Chevrolet on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads online at victorylanechevrolet.com. 39-month lease for current lessees, 10K miles per year, all rebates to dealer. Taxes and fees extra, expires 5/31.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News, traffic.
There's a crash on the Midpoint Bridge delaying traffic for 3 miles. Slowdowns at a creep and crawl near Santa Barbara all the way to that Midpoint Bridge. Just avoid this area right now. You have North Fort Myers bridges or you have that Cape Bridge to avoid the crash. There's a crash at Southwest 25th Avenue and Gleason Parkway. Minor delays at the intersection, but we have a slowdown in Fort Myers on McGregor Boulevard between Colonial and Winkler Road. It is packed and slow. Go ahead and stick to Summerlin if you want the alternate. That's up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida. We are still seeing that warm and muggy start with temps in the 70s. This afternoon, though, with a lot of cloud cover, we're going to be limited to the upper 80s to near 90. That's also going to allow for a few spotty showers and thunderstorms to develop, but probably not as widespread as the past few days. Drier air mixes in behind a cold front Friday into Saturday, and the weekend looks beautiful across the entire region. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
You don't have to feel distant. Come join the conversation.
We need to get back to the times when you could agree to disagree and help your neighbors.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomato's Sports Page. Do you feel American pride and want to shout, God bless America? As a son of immigrants who came through Ellis Island, I stand when the national anthem plays and get emotional thinking of those who have sacrificed for America's greatness. At Stevie's, we're filled with gratitude for our great customers and the country we live in. The firemen, police, emergency service, construction workers, and those who go about each day providing the foundation for our country. We love our customers and express our gratitude with our food, service, and value. Thankful for your dedication for what you do. And to all our great customers, show your love for this great country by going to any Stevie's. Stand at the bar and say loud and clear for all to hear, God bless America, and I'll buy you a 10-ounce beer. Restrictions apply in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. God bless America.
Stevie Tomatoes, Sports Page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
Is your HR department struggling? Is payroll becoming unmanageable? What about insurance? When you track hours for dozens or perhaps even thousands of employees, Paycheck's all-in-one human resources, insurance, and payroll solutions can bring it all together. You'll have access to HR guidance, best practices, and employee tools. Get the insurance coverage you need to protect your company and competitive benefits for your employees with cost-sensitive health insurance. Mobile access to HR analytics, training, and 50 years of expertise in payroll, HR, benefits, and insurance. Paychecks can help you stay up to date on changing regulations, get recommendations, and improve employee benefit options. Paycheck's suite of next-generation HR solutions can help fine-tune your operations and assist in taking your business to the next level. Sign up today for 1 month free at paychecks.com/future.
Insurance is sold and serviced by Paycheck Insurance Agency, Inc., 150 Sawgrass Drive, Rochester, New York, 14620. California license number 0C28207.
Hey, this is Papa reporting that a lady recently complained that she did not like my commercial about the guy spitting chewing tobacco. She said that sound made her sick. I asked her what she thought about my commercial of Bart the Donkey, and she went... Either way, a special thanks to over 4,000 wonderful people who did respond to Papa's wacky commercials and making this past year our biggest, most profitable year in over 30 years. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Kerry, and Cody, we invite you to call Papa for our free tile roof inspection. If we find needed repairs, we'll do our best to make it affordable. Let us show you how we can clean and seal your tile roof, pavers, and pool decks the eco-friendly way, and it's cleaner, safer, and lasts longer. We promise to keep the donkey off your roof. Call me, Papa, for our free tile roof inspection. 945-2700. That's 945-2700. Remember, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7.
License number CCC 1326213.
Hello, I'm Brian Resney, president of Resney Wealth Management and host of the Resney Wealth Report and TV show on the weekends. Investors come to my TV and radio shows to learn and to get educated so they can make better decisions about their retirement and their portfolio. What's your risk management strategy? Are you willing to subject your portfolio to another massive decline in a set it and forget it strategy, or are you looking for a difference? Listen to my show Sunday mornings, 10 to noon on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
You probably know Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all-too-familiar competitors, at Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk, Dray Sites, and Talisano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com. That's the website. It's also mobile friendly. Remember, you just go to drewsteele.com on your phone, whatever phone you have, and then once you get to the website, there it is. You can see the video. It's you just click on it and boom, right on your phone. You can watch this program. You can stream it on your phone, on your smart device, on your tablet, on your computer. It's just a basic website. It's very simple. Facebook is still available at Drew Steele Radio if you like to go there. Okay. Hey, speaking of okay, time for the top 5 audio clips of the day. Okay, it's the 5 at 8:35.
Drew's Top 5 at 8:35 is brought to you by Moran Wealth Management. Isn't it time to review your portfolio options? Go to moranwm.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drew's 5 at 8:35.
Number 5.
She pretends to be a student, is walking around this high school, handing out pre-printed pamphlets with her social media Instagram name on it.
She's trying to get people to follow her on Instagram.
Listen, I'm not saying that social media is destroying the world. I'm not saying that our kids and adults and older people and little babies and social media destroys it. I'm not saying that. But this news story would suggest it when you come to find out that a woman posed as a student, went to a high school with a backpack and a skateboard, pretending that she was a student, 28-year-old, pretending to be a student, and handing out pamphlets printed with her Instagram account because she wanted to increase her views on Instagram. So she made believe she was a student at the high school so that more people would watch her to increase her profile, her social media profile. Yeah. Hey, when can we pull the plug on this, people?
Number 4.
You're absolutely correct. Ranking Member McCall, it is a problem. Xinjiang province not only produces some of the solar panels that we believe are being, in some cases, produced in forced labor by Uyghurs.
Oh, nothing to see here, everybody. It's not that big a deal. It's a House Foreign Affairs Committee, and there's a representative, Republican, McCall, who is asking John Kerry, hey, can you ensure that when you're talking about climate policy that the U.S. is going to conduct, that you're not going to buy solar panels or anything from this specific province in China? Because we've heard that there's concerns because there's forced labor that's reported in the area. Uyghurs are being forced as slave labor, if you will, to produce these solar panels and the ingredients that go inside of these solar panels. And you're not suggesting you wouldn't do that, right? You wouldn't have a U.S. policy based on purchasing there from China in these areas because you wouldn't pick people over climate. Climate over people, right? You would pick people, human beings, over climate in U.S. climate policy. And there's John Kerry saying, no, we choose climate over those people. And yeah, it's true. And we're doing just that. We're buying and getting these panels from forced labor in these markets. But hey, listen, doesn't the air smell fresher today? Oh, just smell that fresh air. Can we do something about John Kerry?
Number 3.
You guys are bad. I'm not supposed to be answering all these questions. I'm supposed to leave, but I can't resist your questions.
One of the most honest moments for Joe Biden yesterday as he was making announcements about vaccines and kids getting vaccines as young as 12. And hey, we're getting there. We're going to get those kids vaccinated because it's in the world of the vid, the kids are the most exposed and the threat to their lives. Said nobody ever, including the science and the data, doesn't suggest that. But he said a lot of other things about Hamas and Israel and who you're going to side with and gas prices and all this stuff. And then when asked a couple of more questions when he was done, he's like, hey, listen, honestly, you guys aren't supposed to be asking me any more questions. I'm supposed to walk away, and I just can't walk away. And, his handlers are like, walk away, Joe! Walk away!
Number 2.
I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office. We have seen the danger that he continues to provoke with his language.
This is so good. Oh, man, I'm so glad that we have a representative out there out of 435 who speaks for all of them, like Liz Cheney. How amazing is Liz Cheney? I'm so glad that they dubbed her the person in Congress there to speak for every single Republican. I remember the vote like it was yesterday. I remember it as if it just happened. It never happened. Nobody ever made Liz Biden the spokesperson for the GOP, but apparently she believes it. And upon hearing that, she lost her committee, and they voted her out as far as this committee, the head of this committee, that people have been concerned about, the chair there in the GOP, that upon hearing that, she goes after Donald Trump, and she's going to make sure that Donald Trump will never be president again in her lifetime. And it's all about unity, everybody. It's bringing the party together. Hey, there's news on that front, Liz Cheney. And maybe if somebody is listening that knows her, they might want to tune in just a second because there's some stuff you might want to hear.
Number 1.
And I'm also glad to be on to be able to say that effective tomorrow morning, I'm going to sign a reprieve under my constitutional authority. So that'll delay the case for 60 days against both of them. And then when our clemency board meets in the coming weeks, we'll issue pardons not only for Mike and Jillian, but for any Floridian that may have outstanding infractions for things like masks and social distancing. The fact is, it's not even right to be wearing masks when you're exercising. The World Health Organization advises against it. It's not healthy for people to be doing that in the first place.
Oh, how about that? So upon hearing about Mike and Jillian Carnevale, who face up to 120 days in jail for repeatedly allowing people to forego masks at their gym in Plantation, that's Broward County. The leftist Broward County. You know how they do things over there. They don't do anything like the rest of the state because, they want their own little enclave of little lefties. Upon hearing this, the governor went on to Laura Ingram's show yesterday and said he will pardon anyone in the Sunshine State charged for not wearing masks or social distancing because, listen, when you're talking about overreach, the things that have to do with health should be advisory. They shouldn't be punitive. Everybody's listening to that, right?
Drew's 5 at 8:35.
That's kind of a big deal. As he's saying, look, not going to allow it to happen. We're not in September 25th when he was talking about this very issue and how business is being punitive against individuals and people that the different governments there, the municipalities being punitive against businesses, against individuals who are following WHO guidelines and some of the other things that are out there, the science and the data. And the governor is saying, listen, you can't do this. And he's going to see to it that that kind of thing stops. And let's hope that more and more people will hear this and realize this. And again, the governor stepping up, the governor being bold in these decisions, the governor trying to do as much as he possibly can, but understand something else. Because I've had a couple of conversations in the past 24 hours with some people, and I think there's something that needs to be said here. The governor is doing a lot of hard work. The Department of Education, Richard Corcoran, doing a lot of hard work to ensure that there are things that are happening with our kids and the education of our kids and the governor being tough against those that would be doing things that agree with the science and the data, and some of the policies coming out of Tallahassee only to be told by municipalities and areas around the state that don't like him that, we're going to not listen to you and do quite the opposite. That understand that just because the governor puts something out, an executive order, or just because the governor makes a recommendation, just because Richard Corcoran in education, they're doing all the tough work behind the scenes to try to make sure that our kids are not being taught critical race theory and this pushing of systemic racism. And listen to me when I tell you, if you're at a public school, a charter school, any place where you recognize that this is happening, you have to speak out about it. You have to speak to those individuals and speak to the parents in the communities. They need to know that this thing is being forced upon the community that you live in. But that there is going to be constant pushback from the left. They're not going to give up. They're going to do things that are going to be sly, that are going to be behind the scenes, that are going to be continuing to push agendas, even with those that are trying to push back hard in positions of authority in the state and even nationally. I know people don't like to hear that necessarily, but I'm just putting that out there. Just remember that with all the good things that the governor's doing and talking about and executive orders and Richard Corcoran and Department of Education and all the things that they are trying to accomplish, there are going to be people that are going to try to circumvent all the things that they're talking about, all the things that they want to do, because they are going to make sure that those agendas will be in schools. They're going to do it any way that they can, and they'll figure out ways. They're not just going to pack up and go home because the governor or the Department of Education says, yeah, we don't want critical race theory taught in schools. They're going to figure out ways to make it happen. And the only way that stops is obviously with your voice. It stops with you voting in individuals that will make certain that happens, that it stops. There's a lot of that needs to be recognized. And, by the way, speaking of Liz Cheney, who was saying that she's going to see to it that Donald Trump will never be president of the United States, making those comments. Like I said, I have no idea that there was a vote that says that Liz Cheney speaks for every Republican that's out there. She's now the head of the party. Nope. But again, I brought this up earlier. Guess who comprised the majority of Trump's 2020 voters? Well, the data's finally in. It took a while. But they finally have all the numbers. New data from progressive analytics firm Catalyst shows the majority of Trump's support in the 2020 election came from racist white evangelical Christians. No, that's not true. I know. I'm just reading that in the article. It's because that's what we're told. That's where the support is. Everybody else hated him. Listen to this. Came from minorities and women. Trump's support grew among women in major percentage points from 2016, made inroads in all minorities in the election, except for white men. The data shows a 7-point increase among non-white females, a 4-point increase among non-white men, and a 1-point loss among white men, but massive increases in turnout. Latino votes share as a whole swung towards Trump by 8 points in two-way vote share compared to 2016. Lessons learned, everybody? Liz Cheney, are you listening? Hey, if you know Liz, can you get that message to her? Because I guarantee you that if you go back to the GOP of old, if you're trying to convince everybody that Trump's got to, you got to throw it all out. Baby bathwater, gone. It's got to go. The orange baby out, bathwater gone, everything, policies, the whole thing, anything that Trump did, anything that he touched, don't even mention Donald J. Is that what you're going to do to us? That if you're making that suggestion, that we got to get back to the good old days, John McCain, Mitt Romney, the Bush family, all the good times, right? That's when everybody loved each other. I'm just saying. I'm not sure that everybody's on board with that. But you keep going. Actually, don't. Stop. It's not anybody's party. It's your party. It's your voice and your vote, and you have the decision as to where things are going to go. That's why many people that I talk to say, I don't care about party. I'm a conservative. That's what I care about. I care about the right policies. I don't care who they come from. We know they're not going to come from the left. We know they're not coming from Democrats. So it's taking back the party. Or the party was taken back, and we want to keep it that way. A lot to unpack with that. Kind of a big deal. Are you ready to go? Yeah, okay. That's fine. We can go. All right. Listen, thanks for watching. DrewSteele.com, the website. We always appreciate that. Thanks for listening on your drive to work. Hopefully you're not waiting too long for fuel. Hopefully you didn't stop at your favorite station and it's like, oh boy, they're out. Don't panic buy. Don't do that. Colonial Pipeline back up. It's going to take some days before it gets back fully into integration with everything that's missing, but we certainly keep an eye on that, and throughout the day, it'll be discussed as well. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along, and let's find out how the remainder of the forecast is shaping up with Wink News meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
Happy Thursday, Southwest Florida.